Mike Martin, Sports Roundup. Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy this evening. 6 to 7 out there. We'd love to hear from you. 256-234-6221, 800-782-0108. And Scott, you and I will be with Sportz Blitz throughout the remainder of the night, taking it from 6 to 9. We'll have Sportz Blitz live tonight, brought to you by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire from 7 to 9, and it will go statewide on Channel 80, the Alabama Cable Network. And if you're hopefully you found the new dial on Charter, which is Channel 3 here locally. Was Channel 2, but has moved to Channel 3. Still 75.1, I believe, on your digital dial. So, again, we'd love to hear from you, 256-234-6221. Scott, the difference with this program from some of the others that we do is it's all local area athletics, and when you're a week out from high school football, it's as good a time as any to talk about sports here.
Yeah, this is the most exciting time of the year for me. High school football is like none other. I love college football, and just the football that goes on in this area just makes it so much better to be a part of this community, as well as those listening outside our listening area.
You know, one thing that we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about high school football, of course. We're going to run down the schedules of each of our teams here in the local Tallapoosa County region. That's Benjamin Russell High School, Dable High School, Horseshoe Bend, and Reeltown. We'll take your phone calls if you've got any questions. This segment's brought to you by Alliant Bank, and we can't thank them enough for all that they do for the local community, including our programs over the last 8 years. 256-234-6221. And let's start off the opening segment here, and let's talk about our very own Benjamin Russell High School. And we're excited to kick things off next Friday night. We'll be right here at home. BC Rain, who is coached by his brother's a very good friend of mine, so I'll bring that up. But Tellis Stone, who was an outstanding football player here at Benjamin Russell High School. Brother Tony, as good a person as I know. I graduated high school with him. And Tellis will bring BC Rain from Mobile up here to the Sportsplex, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's been the talk of the community, and especially people who are older, especially my age, who are old enough to remember T.O. playing. And it's now having him come here and having this opportunity to face off with him should be great for the community to have him come back.
256-234-6221. Call in, ask us any questions on the schedule here as we're running down Benjamin Russell High School schedule. BC Rain is week 1. It will be at home next Friday night, kickoff at 7 o'clock. We'll be on air with the pregame show at 8:30. I'm looking forward to that. Week 2 is one that we'll all mark to, and I think everyone in the Clay County area as well as the Tallapoosa County area have been looking forward to this one for a long time, as Benjamin Russell will go on the road and take on Central of Clay County. Clay County took it to us a couple of times, very close football games, but we did lose both of them. But the one thing I took out of those games is not the losses, Scott. It was how much fun they were. They were a ball to play in, outstanding atmosphere. I don't remember anybody getting in any scuffles or there being any problems out there. And just great football and great gates, great all the way around. I expect the same week 2.
One of the greatest games I've heard called, between you and Brett, when Benjamin Russell played Clay County on the road. And, again, that's what will be happening. I'm looking forward to have Coach Danny Horn going back there. You know that'll be a lot of motion there. And, again, I know everyone here, especially the players, are really excited to take it to Clay County.
Yeah, and I know Clay County, that is a great program. In 5A, I think they're ranked number 4 preseason. They're tied with number 4. We'll talk about that on Sports Blitz Live tonight. We'll run down the Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 poll from 7A down to 1A. Look, 7A this year is going to be fun, and I think the classification, and it's the one that Benjamin Russell is playing in, is 6A. We'll start off region play, week 3 of the season. It's our biggest rival. If you don't believe it, ask the kids. If you don't believe it, ask any of us that grew up playing against Opelika High School. We're very similar. We're similar for a long time. Benjamin Russell still holds the lead in the all-time series in that one. Opelika has had our number more than we have over the last 15 years, I would call. But it's still a very good matchup. Benjamin Russell won 2 years ago here at home, 14-7. We go on the road to Opelika last year, lose a close one, 21-7. Opelika scores in the last minute of the football game. Scott, week 3, you just can't ask for a better game here at home than week 3 as Opelika comes in and takes on our Wildcats.
Yeah, and as you said, both communities are very similar, and both communities have very passionate fan bases, and I know that game will be one that for a while, as long as we're in the same region, will be one that we all look forward to, and it brings a little more excitement to the game. I ran into some people this weekend from Opelika at a wedding, and they said that's the one game that they're really looking forward to having Benjamin Russell in the region now where the game actually matters.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Hopefully we'll be off to a 2-0 start. We'll talk a little bit about the team. We'll talk about some of the players throughout this program here. And Brett Pritchard just walked in, and I know he can't wait. He's chomping at the bit to call this Wildcats team that is defending 2-time region champions there in 5A in 2012 and 2013. Hopefully we can continue that on. We'll go on the road in week 4, and no, I will not go to the top of that press box this year. We'll be sitting in the stands, Brett, so go ahead and get you a comfortable seat. But we'll go on the road at Eufaula High School, and Eufaula, an outstanding team. 2 years ago, one of the more memorable games that I can remember us doing in the last, I've been doing this with Brett almost a decade now. I don't know the exact time, but it's one of the more fun ball games that I've been involved in was that Eufaula Region Championship game a couple of years ago. Last year, we really take it to them in the first half. I think we're up by about 5 touchdowns there at halftime. But we got to go on the road. Not a region matchup, I don't believe. We'll go on the road and take on Eufaula in week 4.
Well, while the team was doing it much better at that time and they were already on that game, allowed them to win the region, I think that was a transition game for the program. That brought so much excitement to everything. And once they won that, although they go on to lose the Spanish Fort that year, it brought everybody back and it brought a more notoriety to the program that had it been before. So I think that's always going to be a good matchup for a time to be.
You know, another region matchup we'll have in week 5, and I think you can point to 4 teams. It doesn't take any of the other teams out of the region race, but the opponent that we have on the road in Pell City in week 5, I think is a dark horse in this region every year. They've had outstanding athletic programs for a very long time. I think they've been on a very nice stretch of football. Having this opportunity to drop down into a 6A, it's not a drop for them, but it's no longer in the highest classification, I think is going to help. We got to go on the road, take on Pell City. They were an area opponent of ours our entire time in high school, always great athletes at Pell City High School. We'll take them on in week 5, and I think that's going to go a long way with deciding where the region ends up, maybe 1 through 4. You know, after the top 4 seeds going into the playoff race, I see a drop-off there. Doesn't mean it's going to be that way. I think Benjamin Russell, of course, is one of those top 4 teams. Pell City, I think, is also.
Yeah, again, and this is also an opportunity with us going to a new classification now. We have new people on the schedule, some people that we haven't had on in a while. As you said, Pell City used to be a common opponent of ours for a very long time, and now having them back on there has to be exciting. And that was one thing that, talking with the coaching staff that we've had up here various times during interviews, they said that they were excited to have some new teams on there. So it's a judgment, too, from where your program is.
You know, I'm sorry to say, but last year, at least 7 out of those 10 games weren't fun for anybody. I don't think I'm saying – the kids, when you practice all week and you put all that time and preparation in to go out there and be up by 6 touchdowns at halftime, it's got to be deflating. And at least 7 out of our 10 opponents were that way last year. I'd rather go 7-3 than 9-1 and not take on premier talent.
But the one positive in that, though, for this Benjamin Russell team is that because of that, you had a lot of people get some playing time last year that they may not have gotten. And so your second team, for the most part, played a lot against first-team opponents. So people like Chase Burton, who emerged later in the season, now is prepared to play. And even from Tyree's standpoint, who looks like he's emerged as the quarterback now, if by him being able to play in some of those games last year, it gave him a little more experience. And so he played against some first-team opponents. So I think from that standpoint it was good. But as you said, it gets kind of hard to call some of those games. And even playing in them, it gets tough as well.
Well, forget about calling it. It's the playing in them and not getting to play after all that preparation that I would be upset about. 256-234-6221. Got about 4 more minutes left here on this segment. We'd love to hear from you. But it wasn't our fault. It was the region that we were matched up in last year. Outside of the region, our opponents were outstanding. 2 of the 3 opponents that we had the opportunity to schedule were Opelika and Homewood. Couldn't have gone out there and gotten 2 better opponents than we were able to pull down with those. So the region, much tougher now. Should be good gates. Should be a good turnout to the home games. Week 6 is a very common opponent of ours over the long stretch. That's Stanhope Elmore from Millbrook High School. Always has premier talent. That's not a region game. It's an out-of-region matchup between the two of our schools, but we will have them at home, and I think that is homecoming in Week 6. We're back at home Week 7. It'll take on one of those top teams in our region. That's Oxford High School. Rock Thomas has wooed at Auburn in the first couple of weeks. You can't pick up an article and not hear about Duke Williams and Rock Thomas. Tells you the type of talent that Oxford is producing over there. We'll have them at home in Week 7. We've seen them a couple of times. I know that we played them the first year that Danny was here. We went on the road and took them on, and it was a very close football game up to the end. I think we ended up losing 28-14, very close the entire football game. But that should be a great one in Oxford. Week 7, we'll be on the road at another dark horse in the region. You never know what they're going to have, but they do have a very good athletic program up and down and work extremely hard at it, and that's Chelsea High School.
Yeah, and again, that's a community that has been on the rise, and so their football, as well as their other programs as well, have been doing very well. And so, again, this is another one of those opponents who Benja Russell hasn't had an opportunity to play consistently. So from a fan standpoint, after seeing some of the games we've had the last couple of seasons, this will definitely be one of those exciting games.
You know, a new thing that we have this year, and the reason that we're starting this upcoming week, you have 11 weeks to play 10 football games. You can take an off week in between at some point in time. You can have this opening week be a preparation game, a spring-type game atmosphere, which we've seen in years past. But this opening game for us with BC Rain will count next week. We'll take off the last week of the year leading into the playoffs. Week 9, we'll take on another common opponent, one of the more common opponents we've had in the history of our school, and that's Valley High School. And Valley will come here. They always travel well. Excited to see them on the schedule. In the last couple of years, I think two of the better crowds that I've seen is us on the road at Valley and Valley coming here as well.
Yeah, and as you said, it's because we've had that common theme for some time now. And, again, this is one of those where we're familiar with each other, very similar communities again. And so they're familiar with us, we're familiar with them. So I'm looking forward to that game as well. Closing out the season, and that's the regular season, hopefully, for the Wildcats, we'll take on an opponent that we have met in the first round of the playoffs the previous couple of years. Actually, we met them in the second round of the playoffs 2 years ago, and that's Chilton County. We'll be on the road at Chilton County. That's a region matchup. So 4 of the top teams will move on from region play into the playoffs. Let's hope our Wildcats are there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of time the remainder of the night to talk about some of the kids that we've got moving up. Some of them we can point to, some that we're looking forward to seeing maybe for the first time, Scott. But I love football season. It's a week out. Can't ask for anything better. It gets busy this time of year, but it's extremely fun. And, again, you wait so long for it, and when it's finally here, it seems like it goes by so fast. But, again, I'm really looking forward to this high school football season. 256-234-6221. I'm going to step aside. I'm going to let Sonny Wilson come up here. He is the Alexander City Parks and Rec Director, and he'll talk about youth football. And youth football over the past couple of years has continued to rise here in Alexander City, and we hope the numbers continue to be on an upswing. It will point directly to what we put on the field in the middle school and high school, so hopefully you'll get your kids out and have them involved in Alexander City Parks and Rec youth football. More of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup live on location at JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and a place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire Crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Dadeville, now in 2 locations.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Times change, but what Alabama banks on never changes. In good times or difficult times, people in Alabama know they can bank on community ties, common history, strong relationships, and trusted experience. That's why for over 110 years, Tallapoosa County has banked with Alliant. Log on to AlliantBank.com or come by one of our convenient locations and experience the same friendly service. Alliant, a century of banking on Alabama. Alliant Bank, a division of U.S. AmeriBank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
And this segment is brought to you by Bland Insurance Group. I want to thank Sean Bland for being a supporter of this program for some time. And if you need anything insurance related, please give him a call, downtown Alexander City. But right now we're going to take a little transition right now and talk a little bit about Alex City Youth Athletics. And we'll welcome in Sonny Wilson, who is the Parks and Rec Director for the Alexander City Parks and Rec. And so, Sonny, welcome back. It's been a long time since you've been up here. So, yeah, how have you been doing, man?
Been doing good, staying busy. Had a lot of baseball tournaments this summer, and now all that's over, we're getting ready to get into football.
Yeah, well, before we get into football, let's take it back to baseball and softball. We had some very successful teams play during the summer, both male and female. So you want to break down a little bit about how we did on the baseball diamond?
All right, on baseball, we had our 12-year-old bunch. They finished second in the state this year, and as far as our boys go, they were the highest seeded team, or made it the furthest in the tournament than the other age groups. And then in our girls, our 10-year-old girls, they won the state and went on to North Carolina to the regionals. They had a good showing there, done a great job. I tell you, you're going to see a lot of good things out of this 10-year-old girls bunch. There's a lot of talent. And you can just – it's one of them teams you love to watch. They just love the game. They feed off each other, and I went to regionals to watch them there, and they just – the passion for the game, it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, and the regionals were held in North Carolina, and from my understanding, not too big a difference in this town and that community. So I was going to ask you, too, I know that once people do get to the Sportsplex, and those that are here know how great it is, but comparing it to maybe a place that is similar, how did we stack up?
Oh, I think we have one of the nicest complex. Now, of course, I'm biased, but, just listen to – we had people come in from Mobile all the way to Huntsville, and everybody bragged about the complex we have and how nice everybody in the city was. And one thing that makes tournaments great is not just the ball field, but when they go to the hotels or the restaurants and the gas stations, how do people treat them there? And everybody was just talking about how everybody out in the community was so friendly. Those things stand out more than just the complex you're playing at. It's how you treat it in the community. And I tell you, our community stepped up and done a great job welcoming all the teams we had coming in.
Yeah, and too, that is such a great economic impact when you are able to host tournaments and you bring in different people from different communities. But what would be the process if we were interested in possibly hosting a regional tournament? What's the selection process there, and what would anybody, I guess, in the community we would need to help to make sure that happens?
Well, what we have to do, we have to send in a letter to the Cal Ripken or Babe Ruth, depending on what age group, to their headquarters. And we're doing that this year. We're trying to get one in 2017 as soon as we can get one. But we're sending a letter in next week for that. And then if we get selected, they'll narrow it down to about 3 cities. Then the corporate, the big wheels will come here, and they'll tour the city, and they'll look at the complex and the hotels and the restaurants, and they'll look at everything, see if they think our site is prepared to have one, in which, having as many state tournaments as we had this year, that's the reason we tried to get as many as we could this year. And if they could go over successful, it just helps us look that much better. And talking to the state director and some of the others that the job, the board and myself done this summer, it turned out great. So I think we made a good impression on them.
Well, speaking of good impression, we'll go ahead and move over to the football side. You've been involved with Parks and Rec for some time now, and this group of kids that are entering the middle school now were one of the first members of some of those football teams that were part of when you were taking over. And so from what I understand, that's been one of the best things that could have happened. They were saying that they're already prepared for a lot of the things that they're taking on at the middle school. So, again, we'll transition into football and talk about the registration process that's happening there, and we'll dive into how much of an advantage it is for kids who are interested in playing football at a higher level to go ahead and do it at the City League level as well.
Well, we start registration. We started this past Monday, and we'll go through next Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can come by the Sportz Blitz gym there. It's $65 for football from 7-year-olds to 12-year-olds. This year we're starting a 5 and 6 flag football league. We had a lot of requests for that, so we're starting a 5 and 6-year-old flag football. It's $30. And then we have youth cheerleading going on. It's $65 also.
Well, that's good, and I know that this was one of the first years, I guess, in T-ball you added a 3-year-old
division. 3 and 4-year-old.
3 and 4-year-old. So, again, I think that's great that you're exposing it to them that early. And in football, although they won't be tackling, doing anything like that, they're getting basic skills from a flag football perspective that can help them later on. But as you said, Sonny, the progress that these teams have been making and participation-wise have been great. I know that the numbers have been better each and every year.
It has. The first year we had 2 or 3 teams in each age group. Last year we had 4 teams in each age group, which was, back in the day we had probably 6 teams. So we're headed in the right direction. We just, a lot of it takes a great group of coaches. We've been blessed the last 2 years to have some good men, godly men come out and coach these kids. And, to have Michael Goggins, that took over at Cooper Community Center. Michael comes back and coaches 11, 12-year-old team for us. And, El Toro, he's around. And when Tay comes home, Tay Young, he comes around. So just what those guys have done to come back and, after having a successful college career, come back here, they're a mentor to a lot of these kids. They look up to them. And for them to volunteer their time and give back to youth football, I think that more than anything has helped build our numbers up.
Yeah, and we're here with Sonny Wilson, Parks and Rec Director for Alexander City. And, Sonny, you talk about some of the great coaches that you have. So if there's anyone that's interested in becoming a coach, what's the process for that?
Well, if you don't, if you have a kid playing or not, come by the Sportz Blitz gym. We have some forms to fill out for coaches. And one new thing we have to do this year is we have to do a background check on all our coaches. So, parents can rest assured we've done that. And they can come by the gym there and just fill out the paperwork, and we'll see how many kids sign up, see how many teams we need, and how many coaches we're going to need.
Absolutely. Well, Sonny, before we let you go, just anything else going on Parks and Rec-wise that we'd like to promote for you, just let us know. I don't know anything else that you have.
Well, we're getting ready for our adult fall softball league. We're getting ready for that. And also this year we're going to have a fall girls softball league. So if anybody's interested in that, they can come by the Sportz Blitz there and sign up. We've had a lot of interest in that, so we're going to try that again this year and see how it's more of a instructional league. We're not going to necessarily keep score and be competitive. It's more about instruction, trying to develop more girls, in certain positions there. So we're working hard to do that.
Well, we appreciate everything that you're doing for
us,
Sonny.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. That's Sonny Wilson, Executive Director of the Parks and Rec here at Alexander City. We'll go ahead and take another break. More of the Sportz Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup here live on location at JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupation. Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3 and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
It's political season. Get the most exposure for your campaign through Lee Marketing Group. Yard signs, banners, decals, door hangers, postcards, business cards, video production, advertising, and more. Custom, professional, and engaging. Everything you need in one place. Contact us today. 888-533-6758. www.leemarketing.net. LMG, success by design.
Some people think Allstate only protects your car. Here's the truth. Allstate can also protect your home or apartment, as well as your boat, motorcycle, RV, and snowmobile, and even your retirement and your life. Not many insurance companies can say that, but Allstate can.
For more information about how to bundle and save, you can contact Bland Insurance Group either by phone at 256-392-9244, or you can visit us on Facebook or our website at blandinsurancegroup.com.
Family owned and operated, Holly's Home Furnishings is the Lake Martin area's best choice for all of your furniture needs. Whether you're looking for something new for the living room, dining room, or bedroom, Holly's has something you'll love for every room in your house. Holly's has a great selection of furniture and the most popular names like Lane, Broyhill, Rowe Furniture, as well as the best names in mattresses like Sealy and Tempur-Pedic. You can even get beautiful home decor, everything your home needs, at Holly's Home Furnishings, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City. Visit their website at hollyshomefurnishings.com. In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. We understand that you need the best educational opportunities. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, Central Alabama will provide you with courses and degree programs in tune with today's workplace. Get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Downtown Alexander City, as we are each and every Tuesday night from 6 to 7. Love for you to come out, have a great dinner. JR Sports Bar and Grill has and will continue to be our corporate partners on all of our Sportz Blitz programming. $1.99, bring your kids out in uniform. They'll eat off the kids' menu. That's throughout the year, whether they're in their practice uniform or their game uniform. Can't ask for a better special than that. $6.99, you can come out, snack wing basket with a drink, and that's a great special anytime Sportz Blitz on the air. One thing we haven't said tonight, and I definitely want to pass along, they got a happy hour special. It's Monday through Friday, 4 to 6. Great specials up there. We've got a new sign in the window as you come into JR's. A great place to come downtown. And the Alabama Sports Writers Association's top 10 poll is out. And the next team that we're going to highlight tonight is our highest-ranked local team, and that's Davil High School. In 4A, they come in preseason ranked number 3 in the state of Alabama. The top 2 teams in the state are Leeds High School. Leeds will play on ESPN, I believe, week 1. They'll take on Madison Academy that has Kerryon Johnson. Leeds, though, jumps from a 3A classification up to 4A. Last year they played in the state championship game against Madison Academy in 3A. But they jump up to 4A, and they take home the most votes in Class 4A with 16 there at the top. That's where I'll start this conversation, Scott. I love Davil's chances this year. Why do I like them? I've seen Leeds play. Very good program. but they've won state titles in 3A, and I think a jump up to 4A is a bigger jump than they're letting on right here. UMS Wright, ranked number 2 in the state. Gunnar Roach is gone. That quarterback was as good as we've had in the state the last couple of years. They had to have everything fall in place to beat Dayville last year. I just think it lines up with a very talented Dayville team, one of the best defenses they've had. I think it lines up for a great year. I like them ranked number 3 in the state, but personally I like them there in 4A.
Yeah, and you were very adamant about that leading up to the show, and I can agree with that to a certain point. But Leeds is a team who's been very successful, and we've seen Dayville make that jump as well, and they were fairly successful as well. It's probably been one of the more successful programs that we've seen, especially in this area for the last several years. But Dayville coming in at number 3, and the only team that's been able to hinder any of their championship hopes the last 3 or 4 years have been UMS Wright. And again, I think that, as you said, if they're able to play Leeds how everyone thinks they will, then I think that carries on and bodes well for them in the playoffs.
We're going to know a lot about Dayville next Saturday. They'll be playing in the Champions Challenge event. They've earned that opportunity to play. Benjamin Russell played in that same event last year. Dayville will take on another premier team here in the state of Alabama, and that's Piedmont. And Piedmont is the number 2 ranked team in Class 3A. As good a program as we've got. Up and down the classification doesn't mean they win up and down classification, but as far as going to the school system, seeing what their facilities are like, seeing everything that Piedmont has built. They did win a state championship a couple of years ago, may have been upwards of 4 years ago. They all start running together on me. But they're ranked number 2 in Class 3A, right behind Madison Academy, who is far and away the top team there in 3A, with Carryon Johnson back at running back. But Piedmont and Dayville, next Saturday night, you'll see a little bit more of what we're talking about with Dayville.
Yeah, and that lets you know where Dayville is as a program, because they're here. If you're in that game, they're expecting you to do well, or they're rewarding you for seasons that you've had previously. So you're getting the respect that is just due. And so, as you said, Benjamin Russell played in the game last year, and it boded well for them. So Dayville, again, getting some notoriety here. And as you said, it will be at Crampton Bowl, and it'll be a very exciting atmosphere.
The rest of Class 4A's top 10, again, Dayville High School comes in ranked number 3. Strong number 4, Aniana, the defending 4A state champions, they come in at number 5. They did receive 4 first-place votes. They'll be tough. Sachs High School, Thomasville has been also not a nemesis of Dayville because they put them out also, but Thomasville's got a very good football program. Deschler is number 8, Andalusia number 9, and Trinity out of Montgomery is the number 10 team. Dayville High School's got a great schedule. It always opens up with one of the top games in Tallapoosa County to start the season off. They'll take on Reeltown Thursday night. This Champions Challenge matchup that they have does not count against their schedule. Again, you've got 11 weeks to play 10. The opening week next week can either count or you can choose it to not count. Dayville and the Champions Challenge has never counted towards the schedule or towards the rankings or towards your record, excuse me. So Dayville's first game that will count is against Reeltown on Thursday night. It'll be home at Dayville.
And everybody, the buzz for that game is starting to build a little bit. Me and Brett talked about it last week, how it looks like Reeltown maybe trying to spread it out and do some things a little differently than they have in the past. Coach Jack O'Neill's last opportunity to take on the Dayville Tigers. So I know he and Coach White will have an opportunity to reminisce there. But that's going to be a game, I think, for Reeltown, if they're able to play well, kind of give you an indication of how they'll do the rest of the season. But that'll be one that both communities will look forward to watching.
Always a telltale sign in the regular season for Dayville is Beauregard. They'll take them on the road. That one is in week 2. They'll also take on Childersburg. Childersburg had an outstanding baseball program, but I think their football team has been down over the last several years. Expect Dayville to continue to do what they've been doing to Childersburg and take them down there in week 3. That is on the road at Childersburg, though. We got Hopewell at home and then Tallahassee in week 5. And that Tallahassee program able to defeat Dayville last year. It was a very close matchup, but Dayville will have Tallahassee at home this year. Week 6 is on the road at Munford. Another very talented team this past year. Week 7 is that Leeds team, and they're in the same region. So 2 of the top 3 teams in Class 4A, Leeds and Dayville, in the same region. They'll play one another week 7. At Elmore County in week 8, Hanley in week 9, and they'll close out the season on the road at Eufaula. I like the schedule. Got some tough opponents right there on the road at Eufaula to close it out, which will be the final week of the season. So Dayville will go straight into the playoffs following that one up. Who do you see as the toughest opponents you've talked about on this schedule?
Definitely leads, I'd say one, and then outside of real time, that's just an emotional game, so that'll have its own ramifications. But that Tallahassee game is one that I look at in Beauregard. Just some of their opponents that they've consistently had, I don't think Eufaula will be that much of a problem. That'll be a pretty decent game. But really, the game against Leeds, I think, will be a telltale sign for what's going to happen in the playoffs. That's the 7th game of the season, so both teams should be in midseason form by that point, and so both looking forward to what's going on in the postseason. So that'll pretty much determine who's going to be 1 and 2 in that region.
256-234-6221 is our phone number. We'd love to hear from you out there. And, again, we've talked about Benjamin Russell's schedule, a little bit about their team in the opening segment. Had Sonny Wilson up here with us in segment 2 to talk about youth football here in Alexander City. This segment 3, we've talked about Dayville. We'd love to hear your thoughts on either of the 2 teams that we've brought up currently. Next segment, we're going to talk about Horseshoe Bend and Reeltown. We'll take your phone calls, 256-234-6221. More of the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this.
All right, you're out.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
Times change, but what Alabama banks on never changes. In good times or difficult times, people in Alabama know they can bank on community ties, common history, strong relationships, and trusted experience. That's why for over 110 years, Tallapoosa County has banked with Alliant. Log on to AlliantBank.com or come by one of our convenient locations and experience the same friendly service. Alliant, a century of banking on Alabama. Alliant Bank, a division of U.S. AmeriBank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Don't let pests take your house or business over. Wave the red flag. Red Flag Pest, owned and operated by Scott Davis on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, is licensed, insured, and bonded, and serves the Lake Martin area, specializing in lake homes, residential property, and industrial property. Call for a free inspection today, 256-825-0430, and visit us online at redflagpestcontrol.com. Red Flag Pest Control, when the problem has to stop, guaranteed.
Have you heard about Walls Tire and Auto? Walls Tire and Auto is a full-service garage with over 40 years combined experience in the shop. Let the professional, experienced staff at Walls Tire and Auto provide you with any service your car needs. You already know they handle tires of all sizes and brands, but did you know if your car breaks down, the friendly staff of Walls Tire and Auto will pick you up, make the repairs, and deliver your car back to you? Stop by and see them today. They're right off Highway 280, about a mile past Lake Hill Bridge, or call at 256-825-2628.
Wireless Advantage is Lake Martin's Verizon premium retailer, located in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Highway 280 in Alex City. We've got all the latest cell phones along with the latest Wi-Fi internet products, home phone options, and state-of-the-art tablets, all backed up by Verizon's premium nationwide network. Don't get caught in long lines. Get full Verizon service and products from Apple, BlackBerry, Droid HTZ, iPad, LG, Motorola, and Samsung right here at home. Visit Wireless Advantage in the Marketplace Shopping Center in Alexander City on Highway 280 for all your Verizon wireless needs.
For over 60 years, East Central Alabama has relied on Jackson Refrigeration for installation and service on all brands, including Rheem, Goodman, and York. Now we've expanded into A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, a division of Jackson Refrigeration. We still make your comfort our priority and expect our staff to be the most experienced, dedicated, and trained to give you the highest quality of sales and service. When choosing your heating and air company, choose our family of professionals. The all-new A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, the all-new division of Jackson Refrigeration.
Thursday night also, they'll take on Wadley at home. That'll be on the 28th.
Yeah, and Horseshoe Bend, this is one of the programs that we'll be covering around here that I'm most excited besides Benjamin Russell. They're in a transition mode here, going from more of a spread offense now going to the wishbone, and they'll use some of the spread still with it, but they're going to be a team that lines up and plays smash mouth football, which is going to correlate with the type of defense that Coach Franklin's expecting them to have. He said this is probably one of the stronger and faster teams that he's had defensively. They have some guys returning that should be very capable of taking on some of the opponents that they will be, but offensively they made some strides to try to, gaining a competitive advantage going against some of the teams they have previously. You have also their defensive coordinator, Chad Keeson. They're new with him, so I'm really excited to see what they have going on there.
Drew Hill is one that the Outlook has touted, and Outlook's done a tremendous job of opening up and getting us ready for high school football season here in the local market. But Drew Hill, 5'8", 165-pounder, he'll be back for Horseshoe Bend, plays quarterback and running back, and he'll have the ball in his hands a lot. He was ranked number 3 out of the top 5 breakout stars for this upcoming football season. In week 2, Horseshoe Bend's got a tough opponent. That is Lynette High School. I think they're ranked 2 or 3 in Class 2A heading into the season. A very talented team, but good for Horseshoe Bend. They got them at home.
Yeah, and again, that's a game that you'll see where they are kind of early on. That's one that they're expecting to play well in, and I of course they want to win all the games that they can, but the talk really has been making sure that they progress as a team, and that'll be one of the key opponents that you can tell early on if they have or not.
On the road, week 3 at Lafayette, at home week 4, and a matchup that has been very close over the last several years, and that's Reeltown High School. Week 5, they'll go on the road to Collinsville. Week 6, on the road at Elmore County. Week 7 on the road at Ranbourne. So 3 straight games between week 5 through week 7 for Horseshoe Bend, all of them on the road. That will be a tough stretch.
Yeah, again, scheduling there, they do have to go on the road 3 straight games, but I think you'll see, if you look at a lot of what happened in their games last season, they just weren't able to close out because they weren't able to keep the ball, and I think this offense is going to allow them to do so. Defensively, as I said, they've made tremendous strides from what everyone's been saying, and I know that Coach Franklin is excited about that, but as you said, 3 straight games on the road will be challenging.
Woodland is the matchup in week 7, and that one is at home. On the road again, that's week 8, Woodland. Week 9 on the road at Randolph County, and they'll close out the football season on October the 31st against Central of Coosa. That Lynette team, as we talked about, is the number 3 ranked team in preseason. Coming into Class 2A, they did get 1 first-place vote, went 11-1 this past year. So you'll know a lot about Horseshoe Bend week 1. You always do, as they take on Wadley. Been some of the better matchups that we've seen on those Thursday nights.
Yeah, and again, them playing on Thursday kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week. And, again, this is a game that both teams use as a measuring stick and have become pretty good rivals here of late. And so I'm really excited to just see where Horseshoe Bend takes this program. I know Coach Franklin has been doing everything he can to make sure that they make the strides that will allow them to be the team that they are capable of being.
Reeltown High School is closing out a legacy that's going to be tough to follow for anyone that comes in as the head coach of Reeltown. Jackie O'Neill has been one of the better coaches here in this state for going on, I don't know the exact amount of years, I'm going to say 30. He's been there for a very long time. He was an outstanding football player during his days in high school as well. And for Reeltown to lose him and for him to change his offense around in the final year, I'll believe it when I see it. Most of the time, whenever it gets down to the to when a game is very close, you always go back to what you're comfortable with. We've seen Coach Horn do that successfully with the wishbone over the years, but Coach O'Neill closing out a great career.
I mean, he's a local legend around here, state legend as well, one of the better coaches. And as you said, he's been very, very particular and consistent in what he's been running offensively. And to see him change it this late would be kind of funny. But, again, when it gets down to these close games or the games that matter when they're playing against Dable, they're going to want to make sure they win. And I'm sure they'll stick around with that offense.
They'll start off on August the 21st. They'll go on the road and take on Childersburg. Week 2, they'll play Dable. That one is on a Thursday night reminder. So that will be the second game for Reeltown this year. Week 3 at home against Lafayette. Week 4 on the road at Horseshoe Bend. Week 5 is at home against Elmore County. home against Ranborn in Week 6. Week 7 is on the road at Woodland. Week 8 on the road at Randolph County. Week 9 against a very, very tough opponent in Lynette. That one is on the road at Lynette, and they'll close out the regular season taking on a Lochapoka team who comes in ranked number 6 in Class 1A. So this Reeltown program, very talented. Some of the players that we've talked about there that will be pointed to is Cody Martin, a very, very quick kid. He had almost 900 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns last year. Always great athletes at Reeltown.
Yeah, and again, they were put in systems that allow them to produce a lot of yards. And Reeltown this year has some guys coming back who weren't able to contribute a lot due to injuries, but you'll see them put up a lot of numbers in this final season of the O'Neill era.
256-234-6221 is our phone number. We'd love to hear from you. Going to go ahead and take another break here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup. When we come back, we'll close out this program. Scott and I'll head over, and we'll get ready for Sports Blitz Live. More of the Lake Martin Sports Roundup live from JR Sports Bar and Grill right after this.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all-you-can-eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all-you-can-eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store. Say, what you doing?
I'm checking inventory in all of our departments.
Well, you're Russell. I thought you only sold lumber to contractors.
No. We have lots of home improvement items like nails, nuts and bolts, plumbing, electrical supplies, and the experts to give advice too.
Okay.
Paints and lawn and garden, windows, doors, and cabinets, all at our low price guarantee.
Okay, I get it. I guess I was selling you a little short.
Me? Short? Really?
9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
When you're on Lake Martin and looking for your own boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alex City and the all-new Alex City Marine South on Highway 63 across from the Mini Mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands, and they back it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine-certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered on both ends of the lake. Know what the locals know. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin's complete sales and service center with 2 locations to serve you.
When it comes to health care, Russell Medical Center has always been my choice. When my doctor recommended I have my procedure there, I knew it was the right decision. He knows the kind of expertise, quality, and care I've come to expect. When surgery was necessary, I knew I would be in good hands, and it felt comfortable being treated in a facility so close to home.
Russell Medical Center. Your health, your community, your hospital.
Tallapoosa Ford is your Ford truck dealer for over 35 years. We've delivered on America's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150. Tallapoosa Ford has the F-150 you want with a huge selection on site and can order any style or model you need with all the region's most competitive pricing. We service all warranty work with an award-winning service department, so we're with you down the road.
Hello, I'm Jeff Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to Tallapoosa Ford, a family-owned Ford business locally owned for over 35 years. Your friend in the Ford business.
Visit Tallapoosa Ford on Highway 280, Alex City. Your Ford giant in East Central Alabama and your friends in the Ford business.
normally do, but a ton on the menu, not only chicken fingers and wings. One thing that we don't talk enough about is their catering service here at JR's. 256-329-2328 is how you can contact them, and they can get all that you need for your catering, anything that you have in mind, not just what's on their menu, but anything that you have in mind. As we close out high school football talk here quickly, the 2014 Fab Five marquee matchups that the Outlook put out, and thanks to the Outlook again for all the work that they have put into this. The number 5 game, the best marquee matchup in the local area, Central of Coosa County versus Montgomery Academy. That one will be on October the 17th. Number 4 game will be our rival game at Benjamin Russell High School as we take on Opelika September the 5th. The last 2 seasons, Opelika and Benjamin Russell have split. Reeltown High School will be at Lynette October the 24th. That one will probably decide the region championship there. Another region or area game that's always of interest here in the state, Reeltown will be at Dable on August the 28th. And closing out, the top local area game of the year that the Outlook has pegged is Dable versus Leeds on October the 10th. 2 top 3 teams there in Class 4A. Good pick there, I think.
Yeah, and both of them should be pretty much in the same position as they are in our preseason. Top 3 teams heading in. Both should have great records, and so that's why it will be one of the marquee matchups, and they haven't played each other. So this will give both communities an opportunity to see how the other team plays.
One thing we'll continue to do on this program, we've done it a little bit, but we've gotten away from it somewhat, and we want to go back to it. We're going to highlight local area athletes and what they're doing as they've moved on to the college ranks, also what they're doing as they've moved on to the professional ranks. And tonight we're going to highlight 2 of our professional athletes here from Benjamin Russell High School. We'll start off with Kendall Graveman. What a year it's been for him as he has gone from low A ball in the Toronto Blue Jays organization all the way up to AAA. That's 4 classification moves that he's been able to do in 1 year. It's been unbelievable, and everywhere he's been, he's gone and eaten up the innings as a starter and continues to get outs and just throwing it about as good as anybody is.
Yeah, Kendall has just been so exciting to watch, and as you said, he's risen 4 levels within the farm system in his time there, and that's only 1 season. He starts off last year whenever he gets drafted, and he plays for him, and he's in low A ball, and now you look at him, the season's almost done, and his AAA team is competing for a playoff spot. So he's done a great job since getting moved up to AAA. He's 0-2, but he's only given up 3 earned runs in almost 13 innings. So he's had a tough time being able to get run support. But the thing that you mentioned there was eating up innings. And when we had Daniel Levin on the show, someone who covers the Blue Jays and their prospects, said that that's one of the more intriguing things about him is that his ability to eat up innings, especially in that division, will allow them to do what they need to do bullpen-wise and maybe not have to use them or use the bullpen as much when he is on the mound.
Well, hopefully we caught up with Kendall last week. We had him on the program. Outstanding young man. Hopefully we'll be able to pass along that he moves up. It will be the second one here from Alexander City that's been able to make it to the major leagues in the last 15 years. Bill White being the only one that has been able to make it up. We've had a number of guys that have moved on to the minor league system. Richie Brooks does an outstanding job. Gary Graveman does an outstanding job. They're assisting Coach Brooks, and I think they've got more to come. But right now they've got a couple in there, and the other one that we talked a little bit about and we'll continue to pass on. It's tough to do what Griff Gordon's doing. He's moving into a wood bat league that he's not had to play in so far, but he's always swung it extremely well. I expect him to hit the ground running at some point for the Yankees.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're looking at it, and if Kendall didn't do that great when he first came back, and a lot of it we'll say is because you are making that transition from college ball to a more developed league, whether it is single A or not. But the thing that Griff has for him, he has been a hitter his entire life. So if you can hit, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a little adjustment there, but again, getting drafted by a team like the Yankees, that in itself is an accomplishment. And what I think will help him is the same thing that helped Kendall, is that he played so much college ball that he'll be able to develop a little bit quicker, because a lot of the top arms that you see around in the major leagues now are under 22, 21 years old anyway. So they'll be facing competition that's their age. And so after seeing that type of competition in college, I think it'll translate well for him in the majors.
A couple of more minutes left here on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup. I'm going to talk about a couple of kids that are in the high school ranks here at Benjamin Russell that I think have an outstanding for you to keep an eye on in the upcoming years. And honestly, I think on this football team this year, he's only a junior. I really look at him, and I think he's going to have an opportunity to be a Division I player. I've got his mom sitting over here, Cameron Blankenship, beside me. Hopefully Daniel Bland will be our next one. I really do believe he will. I think Daniel will play in the middle. He's about 6'1", 6'2", 280 pounds, gets after it, heavyweight champion in wrestling, smart kid. He looks like a center to me. Don't get mad at me, Daniel, when I say it. His dad tells me he gets a little bit upset with me. But he looks like a prototypical Division I center. And I think Daniel Bland, I'm not going to say he's the next one because I hope there's some more, but I definitely think he is one to watch this year.
And he's going to excite everyone. He gets after it every play. And he's been somebody that you could see it developing last season. Even as a freshman, you saw it. And now having him on this level now, he's going around and going to some different camps and being exposed to different types of players. I think it's only going to enhance his game, but he's going to be here for the next couple of years, and Benja Russell should definitely take advantage of having a player of his caliber here.
I think the best player will be on anybody, the best player we've got, and I think the best player we'll see all year is Tay Robinson. If he's up to 250 pounds and he's playing nose tackle, good luck. Because last year he was an all-state performer as a sophomore. I think he's going to be exceptional this year at nose tackle. He's as strong as anybody we've ever put through the program, and watch out for Tay Robinson.
Yeah, he's probably one of the strongest people in the state, and you will see it happen. And when you have somebody like him playing defensive tackle and playing nose who can take on 2 blocks, it's going to help your middle linebackers, Sam and Scott, who will thrive, I think, because of having somebody like that there. So, again, I'm looking forward to see all of the guys we've been seeing grow up for the last 2 or 3 years now get their opportunity to really be the stars.
I'm excited to pass along as I was watching some baseball recruiting this past weekend. Sean Rape has been invited to participate, and I guess the National Underclassmen All-American. They have some events that are around this past weekend. It was at Auburn University. Sean was able to throw 4 innings on Sunday. He's a sophomore, junior to be. He tapped out at 91 on the gun on Sunday, stayed 88 to 91. Big buzz around this kid leaving that camp this past weekend. We've been watching him since he was a young kid. He's still got a long way to go and hopefully a lot more wins under his belt here at Benjamin Russell, but it was a very good start this past Sunday at Auburn.
He's one of my favorite people to ever come through the program. I'm super excited for him. Been around him and his family for some time now, and he's just such a great kid. But anybody as a junior in high school who's hitting 88, 89, 90 miles an hour consistently, and only a junior, and he's just entering his junior year, you know what type of arm he's capable of being. As you said, as he grows up and his body gains some more pounds, he gets a little taller, he's going to probably sit around 92, 93. And so doing that at any level will make you successful. And I think that'll give him an opportunity to possibly play some post-high school ball as well.
We're going to close out this program, move over to Sportz Blitz Live, but you come out to JR Sports Bar and Grill, have you a great dinner. Bring your kids out in uniform. They'll eat off the kids' menu for $1.99. For Scott Hardy, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning into the Lake Martin Sports Roundup.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store. Say what you're doing.
I'm checking inventory in all of our departments.
Well, you're Russell. I thought you only sold lumber to contractors.
No. We have lots of home improvement items like nails, nuts and bolts, plumbing, electrical supplies, and the experts to give advice too.
Okay.
Paints and lawn and garden, windows, doors, and cabinets, all at our low price guarantee.
Okay, I get it. I guess I was selling you a little short.
Me? Short? Really?
9 locations serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
When you're on Lake Martin and looking for your own boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alex City and the all-new Alex City Marine South on Highway 63 across from the Mini Mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands, and they back it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine-certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered on both ends of the lake. Know what the locals know. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin's complete sales and service center with 2 locations to serve you.
When it comes to health care, Russell Medical Center has always been my choice. When my doctor recommended I have my procedure there, I knew it was the right decision. He knows the kind of expertise, quality, and care I've come to expect. When surgery was necessary, I knew I would be in good hands, and it felt comfortable being treated in a facility so close to home.
Russell Medical Center. Your health, your community, your hospital.
Tallapoosa Ford is your Ford truck dealer for over 35 years. We've delivered on America's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150. Tallapoosa Ford has the F-150 you want with a huge selection on site and can order any style or model you need with all the region's most competitive pricing. We service all warranty work with an award-winning service department, so we are with you down the road.
Hello, I'm Jeff Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to Tallapoosa Ford, a family-owned Ford business locally owned for over 35 years. Your friend in the Ford business.
Visit Tallapoosa Ford on Highway 280, Alex City, your Ford giant in East Central Alabama, and your friends in the Ford business.
Sportz Blitz Live is on the air. News, scores, predictions. Sportz Blitz Live with your host, Brett Pritchard, Luke Robinson, and Randy Lee. Call 800-782-0108. Auburn.
45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going running all the way back.
Alabama.
38 pounds and 80 yards.
And the latest in high school sports.
Yes, he is. Touchdown.
It's Sportz Blitz Live now. Brought to you by S&S Discount Tire and JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Good evening. Welcome into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. I'm Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy here tonight. We'd love to hear from you. 800-782-0108, 256-234-6464 here locally. And Scott, can't pick a better time of year to go on air and do the programs that we love so much to do. We love talking about the 2 teams in front of us, Auburn and Alabama. We're also very passionate about high school athletics here in this state. I'll be on the road with Brett Pritchard in Montgomery tomorrow as we'll get ready for Champions Challenge. We'll have the AHSA Media Days in Montgomery tomorrow. We'll be over there covering that. Champions Challenge event will kick off Friday and Saturday next week. We'll talk about that a little bit, but always fun to talk football no matter where it is.
We will now have football every weekend until February, and I couldn't be more excited about it. And again, not just college football or pro, but especially in this part of the state, high school football is so important. We have so many teams around our coverage area that are expected to do great. I can't wait for this fall.
800-782-0108, 256-234-6221. We'd be remiss if we started any program right now not talking about practices leading in to Auburn and Alabama football. Both teams ranked in the top 5 in the country in preseason polls. Auburn coming off a magical season, 13 seconds short from a national championship. Alabama coming off of a disappointing final 2 games, but still an outstanding season, and all that they've put into place in the last 5 to 6 years of Nick Saban's reign. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight, but it's hot on tap.
Yeah, and again, looking at Auburn's standpoint, as you said, to come so close, that has to be motivation for them entering this season. Coach Malzahn has talked about it, how 13 seconds can change everything, and so that's all they want to be. That's the motto. Tougher and tougher and 13 seconds better. And then on the Alabama side, the season didn't finish the way they wanted to. A lot of transition there, a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterback who apparently is going to be Jacob Coker and who everyone thinks is going to do great things there. So a lot of different things happening, but should be exciting.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the upcoming segment. We'll talk about practices leading in, talk about players that maybe we've heard a lot about in the opening few weeks, some new names, not new names, because if you follow recruiting and watch Auburn and Alabama, they're out there in the mix for many of the top recruits in the entire country. One of them is at Auburn, Rock Thomas. There's been a huge buzz around Rock Thomas and Duke Williams during practice leading in. I saw a brief clip. I think it was pulled down quickly today, but a touchdown catch by Duke Williams. Us Auburn fans know we got a lot to look forward to offensively this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned Rock Thomas there, and as you said, he's one of the freshmen coming in who's a guy who's going to make sure that the Auburn Tigers are going to be successful, and you expected a lot of you, if you're going to play running back in Malzahn's system, and to come in this young and to pick it up. There's been nothing but great things said about him. Coach Rhett Lashley said he's progressed tremendously, and then you talk about Duke Williams, somebody who today, as you said, they showed a clip, and I think it's one that you'll see a lot of, and I had someone, an Alabama fan, send me a message and say, but Nick Marshall was off. But I think when you have an elite talent like Duke Williams, I think that's going to help a player like Nick Marshall, and his accuracy numbers will definitely go up with having a receiver like that.
We'll have Josh Moon on with us. He's the lead reporter for the high school ranks for AL.com. AL Preps is how you can find him with a hashtag out there. Trust me, I follow him daily on Twitter. He's as good as it gets here in the state of Alabama. We'll have him on here at some point in time in the program. And we'll also close out the second hour with Dane Sharp. He's an attorney at law over in Dayville. There's plenty of cases in the news currently with things that are going on as Justin is able to pull up that catch by Duke Williams in the end zone so many Auburn fans are talking about. But again, we'll talk about high school football quite a bit here tonight. Alabama Sports Writers Association with their top 10 polls out, 7A down to 1A, so we'll cover that. We'll go ahead and take our first break here on Sports Blitz Live. When we come back, we'll move in. We'll talk some Auburn and Alabama football. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
On Tap is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and a place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire Crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Dadeville, now in 2 locations.
Welcome to ASA, a full-service salon and spa that caters to men, women, and children. Our product lines are Redken, Keratin, Sahag, and Moroccan Oil. We have 8 master color specialists, a skin esthetician, a licensed massage therapist, and a licensed nail technician.
We have introduced the Keratin Smoothing Treatment. It is perfect for all hair types, and it reduces frizz up to 95%.
From the time you arrive until the time you leave, it is our goal to exceed your expectations. Please call ASA Salon and Spa for all of your styling needs.
Lake Martin Washington Details, 734 on Airport Drive here in Alexander City. Phone number 256-749-6351. Remember now, they do offer gift certificates. They can do just a regular wash or a complete detail. They go that extra mile, and of course they use quality Alabama Auto Magic products. They're family owned and operated. Again, give David a call. They'll be happy to pick up and deliver that vehicle right back to your job site too. The good folks there at Lake Martin Wash and Detail.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
Lake Winds Golf Course, the most affordable, quality round of golf in Central Alabama. Located right off Highway 280 on County Road 40 in Alexander City, Lake Winds Golf Course offers affordable memberships, an updated pro shop, junior golf program, annual tournaments, and weekly matches. Call for your tee time today, 256-825-9860. Lake Winds Golf Course.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. I'm Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy. We'll take your phone calls at 800-782-0108, 256-234-6221. We've had a competition going on out there. We've got some new 2014 Auburn and Alabama Sports Blitz t-shirts that we'll be giving away throughout the programs. One thing that we're doing a lot more of this year, Scott, is continuing to converse with people on social media. It's only a growing platform. We do a lot on Facebook and Twitter, so make sure to find us out there. I think Justin will announce one tonight that we'll give away. We've had a lot of response for that, so again, we're going to continue to try to grow that.
Yeah, and again, it was interesting to see who was it going to be. We're, as you said, giving away Auburn and Alabama tees and seeing which team would get the most support, and it's been pretty even so far. But again, as you said, social media is such a great platform to participate with any of the people in the media.
We are going to talk Auburn and Alabama football, getting close, within a week or two from the start of the season, and I think it's 18 days down to the start of the season of college football, and nothing better to talk about than the Auburn Tigers if you're the two of us. We're going to talk Alabama also. We'll have Luke Robinson hopefully call in at some point in time tonight. But so far, what's been the top storyline for Auburn in the opening day's account?
I really would say Brock Thomas definitely is one, the emergence that he's had at running back, and especially as somebody as a freshman doing it, and then Duke Williams. I think he's going to be outstanding. I think he's probably the biggest recruit that we've had in quite some time, and he's not only the biggest recruit but the most important because, as I've been saying, this is an opportunity to show that Auburn can recruit big-time receivers and make them successful. So looking at what happened at that catch right there, it wasn't that great of a throw. There was coverage there, but I think you'll see those types of plays continuing during the season.
And Luke Robinson will be on at 8 o'clock to bring us the Bama Blitz and talk a lot more about that. But let's go to the phone lines. Johnny, you're on Sports Blitz.
Okay. Ring Lee, did you know, and I already talked to Hard about this, but this way I'm going to do softball camp. You know, then fall.
Okay.
I'll go from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock with 5 and 6-year-olds. I'm going to go from 8 to 10 with 11 and 12-year-olds, or 9 and 10. I'm going to go 10 to 12 with the 12-year-olds. And anybody won't call me, I got my mom's telephone number down.
Okay, buddy. And I tell you what, can they get in touch with you with the Parks and Rec also?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we'll pass along the Parks and Rec number, Johnny, and they'll be able to get in touch with you there if that works.
That works too.
Okay, buddy. We'll pass that along. Okay.
All right. I just appreciate y'all doing that for me. I'm just trying, do something good for a girl and try to keep them in there.
Absolutely, and we appreciate all that you do now and all that you've done, Johnny. Thank you, buddy. And the phone.
All right, good night.
You too, buddy.
You,
and Alexander City Parks and Rec, you can get in touch with them. 256-329-6736 is the phone number, and they'll get you in contact with that. We had Sonny Wilson on, our Parks and Rec director, here locally, and look forward to you getting in touch with them. They always got some good things going on, and softball is one that they're continuing to grow in. But back over to you. Alex Kozan out for the season. Avery Young will move down a slot from a tackle position to a guard post. How much of a loss do you believe Alex Kozan will be to this team?
Well, first off, you lose you lose Greg Robinson, who many thought was one of the better players in the draft up there with Clowney, especially going number 2 or 3. I can't remember where, but I thought that was going to be one of the bigger losses on the team. And then to have his replacement go down, that hurts you. And it's the same thing you kind of see on defense, where your best defensive player, D4, goes down, and then his replacement, who you're expecting to pick it up, he goes down as well. So the injury bug kind of getting us there early on in the season, but I think that group of offensive linemen have played together enough that they are and versatile enough, the way Coach Grimes coaches them, that they're cross-trained to do different positions. I think we'll be fine, but again, it's tough when this early in the camp to have guys go down, but by it being this early, you have an adjustment period there as well.
800-782-0108, 256-234-6221. Here locally, a player that has, I guess, wowed everyone that has seen him over the last year. As I'm moving over to the defensive side, I'll say 2 players. I'm going to start with one that I think has the opportunity to jump out and be an all-SEC performer, potentially, Montravius Adams. Looks like a different being. You can tell he's been in the weight room. He was a man amongst boys in high school. His sheer strength allowed him to get some playing time last year. But it's hard to come in as a freshman and take on offensive and defensive linemen that are 4 or 5 years into a weight program. I look for year 2 to be a jumping point for him.
Yeah, I think the defensive line as a whole is just going to be so much better, but you mentioned him in particular, and he's a player whose skill set fits exactly what we're trying to do defensively if you're an Auburn fan. And also, I love the fact that everybody's motor seems to be up. Like, you could just hear the way people seem to be talking about the program that are involved with it. But the thing that helped Auburn last year in a lot of their games that were close was that the defensive line depth that they had. And so being able to rotate so many guys in. So not only having great players, but having depth there as well.
Derek Moncrief has been a solid performer back at the safety position, a very big kid. I believe he's 6'2", 6'3", 215 to 220 pounds. To have that type of size coming in from the JUCO ranks and moving right into a starting position tells you what the coaching staff thinks about him.
Yeah, and we haven't had that type of hard-hitting safety probably since Junior Rosegren. Somebody that would just come up and lay a lick, so he'll be able to be used in the run game as well and move him down some. So, again, from a coverage standpoint, he'll handle his business there as well. But you're starting to see some of these younger guys and some recruits whose names you may not have known, or even if you did know them now, coming up and being productive players.
Just talking about a couple of the players out there, if you've got questions about any, we'd love to hear from you. 256-234-6464 here locally. Let's move over to Alabama a bit. Storyline is still quarterback. What is your take on Blake Sims and Jacob Coker? And first off, I'll ask the question that everybody asks. Do you think that there is some type of malcontent to not play a black quarterback at Alabama? Does that have anything to do with anything? I've just heard that a couple of times.
Yeah, that conversation's been floated around some, and I won't necessarily say the University of Alabama. I can't speak to that. But if you look at Nick Saban, as we talked about, he's somebody who had Jamarcus Russell there, and I think he's so competitive and wants to win. I don't think that it plays a lot into it. But most of the time, not going to say most of the time, but you see a lot of your black quarterbacks are more athletic, and so they're asked to do different things than what would be required in Saban's offense. So Nick Marshall may not be as good in that offense as, say, Jeremy Johnson would be. So I think it would work, but Blake Sims isn't the prototypical quarterback that I think Alabama would be looking for. And if he came over to Auburn's side, I think you could see him play there. So I think it's more about scheme and the type of player he's looking for. And you look at how big Jacob Coker is, and that's kind of what he looks for there. Your big 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" player kind of resembles a McCarron, who I think skill set may be a little bit better, but we'll see what happens.
800-782-0108. Blake Sims, Luke brought it up Saturday, so I'll pass it along to you. He feels like if Blake Sims, you said it, was at Auburn, he'd be the starting quarterback there. I totally disagree. Every time
not now. Yeah,
that's my point. I mean, my point is when I see Nick Marshall on the field, I feel calm. He has that demeanor about him that you like to see your quarterback. Every time I see Blake Sims on the field, he looks disheveled. He just does not look like what you hear he is. In spring practice, you heard Blake Sims is moving to the forefront. Quarterback, Jacob Coker come in. Then the spring game, he just plays awful. And I just get a different feel for that. I don't know what we'll see from Jacob Coker. I don't think any of us do. But if you're an Alabama fan out there, you're hoping that he's going to be solid.
Well, I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with this Lane Kiffin thing.
I agree.
Because
totally.
it can't end well. I'm sorry. I think offensively he's a great genius. I don't know coordinator-wise, I don't know really where he stands, but from a quarterback coaching perspective, I know he's great there. So I think he would be good for a player like Blake Sims. So if there's been progression there passing-wise, I'm sure it's been great. And Jacob Coker, still haven't seen him do anything. He didn't take any snaps, so there's been a lot of rumblings to it. If you're an Auburn fan, when Cam Newton arrived on campus, you had hope there that there could be something there, but a lot of detractors were saying, he hasn't taken a snap on collegiate football. It's the same thing could be said for Jacob Coker. So I think it goes both ways, but if they get any play from the quarterback position, they're going to be tough to beat. Defensively, this is probably the best team they've had since probably the 2009 team, and I look for them to be at the top of the SEC and the top of the country numbers-wise when it comes to scoring.
Derrick Henry, I'm looking forward to seeing him. What kind of the load at running back does he end up getting? If it is a lot, I think we may see a special back here. T.J. Yeldon in the top 10 in the Heisman hopefuls leading into the season, though, so you don't take anything away from him. May leave Alabama as the leading rusher all time in the school's history. But Derrick Henry, to me, is the one that if I'm on the opposing side, I don't want to see the ball in his hands 20 times.
They're going to be tough to beat running the football if they're able to do what people think, having that 1-2 monster there. And, again, Derrick Henry is somebody who didn't play much at all until the end of the season, and so that's kind of something that Luke talks about is even if you're one of those teams that only goes 6-6, bowl games are so important because having that extra practice time allows somebody like a Derrick Henry to emerge on the scene and get major playing time in the Sugar Bowl against Oklahoma. And now he goes from a third or fourth string running back to somebody who could potentially split carries with T.J. Yeldon.
Trey DePriest is back, but I do believe that whether Reggie Ragland or Reuben Foster jump up to the forefront and can be that lead linebacker for Alabama that we've seen C.J. Mosley be and McClain be before that, I've heard good things on both of them. Of course, Reuben Foster, when he brings the lumber, it's as tough as anyone, but he will whiff from time to time. And Reggie Ragland, saw him as a ninth grader for Bob Jones High School, play down in the post. Couldn't believe what I was seeing with his leg strength, and he's a humongous force there at linebacker. Both of them could be all pros in the NFL someday. That's the type of talent they have, but which one of them is able to get on the field the most?
I think Foster is one of those people that if he's on the field and he gets a feel for the game, he could be one of their better linebackers ever. I really do. From a talent position standpoint, he's all world. But, again, there's some competition there. But on the defensive line, when you have somebody like a Deshaun Hand who can come in and block some of that, maybe where you had a Terrence Cody before in there where it allowed Rolando to play as freely as he did. But a player I think that is the most integral they've had since this recruit war has started was Rashaan Evans, and I think if he's able to play there, that's what they were missing really. They against a team especially that runs a high tempo offense like a Texas A&M or an Auburn, they couldn't last year, 2 or 3 years ago. They could leave on their personnel on the field. Last year they couldn't do the same thing. So with a player like Rashaan Evans, they don't have to substitute as much, and then that helps them with teams like Auburn and Texas A&M who like to use the same personnel.
If Rock Thomas has gotten a huge buzz for Auburn, Rashaan Evans has got the equal buzz for Alabama. He looks to have a big impact on the season. It was a tough loss for Auburn, but a big gain for Alabama, and hoping that he has the career that he potentially could, because at the end of the high school season this past year, including the All-Star games, he was the best player on the field. He was by far the best player on the field in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. I thought he was the best player on the field in the state championship game for Auburn. Gets Auburn over the hump, gets them to a state championship game for the first time in school history. Class 6A, they'll move up to Class 7A, where they are ranked number 5 heading into the opening season in Class 7A. Still a good program, but what an outstanding player he was.
Yeah, and again, you look at it kind of in retrospect, you're looking at Auburn, who they were able to get him. The injury to Carl Lawson may not have been as bad. I mean, different things like that change it, but him being in Alabama, to mimic what you're saying, I hope he does great. Not with all of the naysayers that have had some negative things to say about him, but I think that him going to Alabama was a perfect fit for him, and if he does what I think he's capable of doing, that could be the missing link that Saban needed to combat some of these high-tempo teams.
We'll have Josh Bean on with us from AL.com. He'll be with us at 7:36, so we've got about 15 more minutes before we have him on. We're going to go ahead and take another break here on Sports Blitz Live. When we come back, we're going to run down the top 10 Alabama Sports Writers Association top 10 poll from 7A down to 1A, and then we'll bring Josh in. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you. Central to your success.
Wireless Advantage is Lake Martin's Verizon premium retailer, located in the Marketplace Shopping Center on Highway 280 in Alex City. We've got all the latest cell phones along with the latest Wi-Fi internet products, home phone options, and state-of-the-art tablets. Don't get caught in long lines. Get full Verizon service and products from Apple, BlackBerry, Droid HTZ, iPad, LG, Motorola, and Samsung right here at home. Visit Wireless Advantage in the Marketplace Shopping Center in Alexander City on Highway 280 for all your Verizon wireless needs.
Welcome to Zaxby's. How may I help you? I wish to be a princess. We can make that happen. Thank you.
At Zaxby's, kids care. So in honor of the thousands of children we serve every year, we're proud to once again team up with Make-A-Wish. This year, we're helping to grant the wishes of 50 kids with life-threatening medical conditions. Because every child deserves a little star power. For more information on Zaxby's Kids Care, visit Zaxby's.com.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due, it's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band, she needs a trombone. Good golly molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm, he needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So because it's always something, remember Always Money. How much can we loan you today?
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. 800-782-0108, 256-234-6221. Or 6464. We've got several phone numbers out there. You can get in touch with us on about all of them. Thanks to Lake Broadcasting for working with us on all of our programming. One programming note out there before I forget. We'll have an AHSA radio network again this year. A ton of different affiliates throughout the state of Alabama will be pulling that in. We'll hub that out of Alexander City at Lake Broadcasting, so you can tune that in. Go to ahsaradionetwork.com. You can pull all of the affiliates up there throughout the state of Alabama. We're really looking forward to that. Jeremy Jeffcoat and Luke Robinson will be the hosts of that program, same as we had last year. So Class 7A down to 1A. First year that we've had Class 7A. Have Josh Bean on the upcoming segment. We'll ask him about Class 7A, but I love the change. I think it's been needed for quite a while, and I commend the AHSA for making this move.
Yeah, it's something for the last 4 or 5 years it's been gaining a lot of traction, especially when you have schools that are as large as Hoover and Bob Jones and some of the others that are in the 7A classification. But I think it's great, too, because it balanced out some of the competition level, especially you see teams, and we'll go down like a 6A, singling them out, like a Clay Chalkville, who it helps them to have those teams like a Hoover and Bob Jones out, and then some other teams where the move up might have hurt them a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see as we break down the expectations.
To me, I think it makes it more fair. We live in a community where we were one of the top 5A programs size-wise. Now we're middle of the range 6A program. A lot tougher on us at Benjamin Russell High School in Alexander City to compete for state titles, but fair. The issue was when you ended up being the very bottom 6A team and you were a third of the enrollment of the top 6A team. To me, it was a little bit too far gone. Fortunately, if you're a Hoover fan, Hoover has had such a stronghold over the northern half of the state. 13 out of 14 years they played for state championships.
That's unreal.
Let that sink in. That's what a program they have built. It's nothing to knock them about. It's been amazing they've been able to pull off this long a stretch. But it gives some of those teams like a Shades Valley and a Clay Chalkville that have been close an opportunity. And I truly do believe that the change happened when Opelika High School 2 years ago made it to a state championship game, and you saw the crowd. It was unreal. It was the largest 6A crowd we've ever seen in state history. And a lot of that, Hoover brought a good crowd. Opelika brought a tremendous crowd. That school has been so close over the last 20 to 25 years, making a state title game, never quite get over the hump, do there. And I think that they point and say there sure is a lot of communities out there that don't get a chance to win state championships. We need to maybe change this thing up a little bit.
Yeah, and again, it really doesn't affect, like you said, a school like Hoover, because as we're looking at the rankings here, they're starting out preseason number one, something they're accustomed to being, so they're going to be good. But as you say, when you open it up for teams like even like a Benjamin Russell now, if they had been moving up to 6A several years ago when they were in it, didn't work out that well because they were on the bottom tier of it at that point. But again, it's going to be exciting to see the new teams that are involved in all the classifications, and we'll get ready to run some of those.
Let's run them down. Class 7A, Hoover High School gets all 32 votes. If they finish off a 15-0 mark this year, it will be 45 consecutive wins. Max Preps brings them in as the number 4 team in the entire country. Bob Jones is a team that continues to get better and better every year. They're up to number 2 there in 6A. McGill-Tulane was close last year. Auburn took them down in the playoffs. They come in ranked number 3. The number 4 team in Class 7A is Spain Park. Can they get over the Hoover hump? We'll see. They haven't been able to do it so far. They have made a state championship game. That's the one team that's made a state title game in the last 14 years, and Hoover not. So Spain Park did get over the hump one time. Can they do it again? Auburn High School makes it to a state title game last year. They come in at number 5. Very strong program. We've got 3 programs, if you're listening in on 95.9. FM Talk over in the Auburn-Opelika area. Thanks for the Tiger Group for working with us on that. We've got 3 teams in the top 10 listening in that come into this top 10 in Class 7A. Auburn at number 5. Number 6 is Central of Phoenix City. It tells you how much the state thinks about Jamie DuBose as a coach and the talent level in Phoenix City. Number 7 team is Foley. The number 8 team is Vestavia Hills. Number 9 team is Fairhope, and Prattville back into the top 10 as they finish off 7-3 last year and get back into the top 10. Smith Station, if we're going to run down 11, you'll have 4 out of the top 11 are listening in to this program right now on radio. Very strong area over there close to the Lee County area. Your thoughts, Scott?
Well, the team that, and you mentioned it, they come in at number 6 is Central Phoenix City, and having the new coaching transition there, Jamie DuBose is going to do great things there, and I'm looking to see what happens there. They go 6-4 last season. I expect them to be a little bit better than that. Year 1 may not go as well record-wise, but that's going to be a team going forward that you're going to want to keep an eye on. But again, you're looking at it, a lot of teams in this eastern part of the state being in that top 10.
256-234-6464, 800-782-0108. Who do you like? Who do you not like in that top 10? Call in. talk about which team you'll be cheering for this year. Moving into Class 6A, which is the second classification for the first time here in this state, a Class 5A team that has won a number of state championships. One of the top programs in the state is Spanish Fort. So they moved from Class 5A up to Class 6A. They receive 29 out of the 32 first place votes there at the top. Spanish Fort, number 1. Clay Chalkville from up in the Birmingham region. Number 2, Shades Valley from up in the Birmingham region. Number 3, Carver of Montgomery from over in the Montgomery area. As strong a 6A program as we've had over the last few years. They're at number 4. There's Opelika High School at number 5. 6 is Florence. 7, Daphne. 8, Blunt. 9, Muscle Shoals. 10, Bessemer City. One thing jumps off to me here. Only 2 5A teams that move up to 6A are found here in this top 10 poll in Class 6A. That's Spanish Fort at number 1, Muscle Shoals at number 9. Those two teams played for a state championship. Tough classification if you made the move up.
Yeah, and those two teams, as you said, were very dominant in 5A. Both great defensive teams, and Spanish Fort has been one of the premier teams in the state on any level for the last several years. But Spanish Fort going up to 6A, it's going to be fun football there in 6A, watching them, and potentially probably Clay Chalkville is a team that I'm looking forward to seeing progress as hopeful, as a state champion hopeful. The move, as you said, helps them not having to go against some of your bigger and larger programs, and I look at that as an opportunity too, as you said, for Carver Montgomery, who has been so close and has so much talent there. They have an opportunity as well to make it to a state championship game.
Up against another break here on Sportz Blitz Live. When we come back, we'll have AL.com's Josh Bean on with us, and he'll talk high school athletics, and we'll take your phone call. More of the Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3 and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats, and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our #1 product is customer satisfaction.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
Don't let pests take your house or business over. Wave the red flag. Red Flag Pest, owned and operated by Scott Davis on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, is licensed, insured, and bonded, and serves the Lake Martin area, specializing in lake homes, residential property, and industrial property. Call for a free inspection today, 256-825-0430, and visit us online at redflagpestcontrol.com. Red Flag Pest Control, when the problem has to stop, guaranteed. Family owned and operated, Holly's Home Furnishings is the Lake Martin area's best choice for all of your furniture needs. Whether you're looking for something new for the living room, dining room, or bedroom, Holly's has something you'll love for every room in your house. Holly's has a great selection of furniture and the most popular names like Lane, Broyhill, Rowe Furniture, as well as the best names in mattresses like Sealy and Tempur-Pedic. You can even get beautiful home decor, everything your home needs, at Holly's Home Furnishings, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City. Visit their website at hollyshomefurnishings.com.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And I'm the big box store.
Box, I don't mean to cut you short, but I've got a delivery to make.
A delivery?
Yeah, Russell delivers anywhere in the local area for free, usually on the same day, and that's on top of our low price guarantee.
Really? Free? Are you kidding me?
No, and if you prefer to pick the order up yourself, we'll load it for free.
And on the same day?
Yeah, we're really good at working on short lead times. How about you?
Yeah, I'm short.
Serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
Excitement awaits you on beautiful Lake Martin. Alex City Guide Service can provide you with a charter trip of a lifetime. Licensed charter guide David Hare has over 20 years of experience on Lake Martin, specializing in live bait fishing for trophy-sized saltwater striped bass, largemouth bass, and spotted bass. Call Alex City Guide Service today at 256-401-3089 or visit them online at www.alexcityguideservice.com.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. I'm Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy, and we've got a very special guest on the phone with us, Josh Bean with AL.com. On with us, and Josh, I must say this before we get started. I probably follow you more on Twitter than I follow anybody else, so y'all do an outstanding job.
Well, I really appreciate it. We're gearing up for the season like everybody else, and I hope people are enjoying the stuff that we've had on the website. It won't be long before just about a week or so now, and we'll have real games being played.
Josh, first year for the 7A classification. We just ran down the Alabama Sports Writers Association's top 10 polls for 7A and 6A. Briefly give us your thoughts on moving to this 7A class.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it will be interesting to see how this plays out. I think that, we've taken the HSAA has taken the top 32 teams and put them in its own class. And I think the interesting storyline everybody will follow in 7A is will Hoover still be able to dominate the largest class? Hoover's been to the what we'll now call the Super 7, 12 of the last 13 years, won the last two 6A championships. They're on this 30-game winning streak. So I think that that's the real storyline there. As much as we like to talk about 7A, it's really can anybody topple Hoover? And then in 6A, I really think that may be the deepest class. I mean, Spanish Fort had to move up, and Florence is there, and you just got a bunch of Shape Valley is there, Bessemer City is there. You got a bunch of really good teams. Daphne stayed in 6A, so that the 6A may have the most contenders. 7A is going to get a lot of attention though, because we're all going to be trying to see can anybody knock off Hoover.
We've got Josh Bean on with us from AL.com, and I would like your thoughts, Josh, on the entire state. Hoover High School has been so great for this state, in my opinion. They've ramped up what we've seen in the Birmingham market. Coaches have had to up their game, and I think a lot have. Two of the teams in the Birmingham area that will move down to 6A will have an opportunity to compete for state titles. That's Clay Chalkville and Shades Valley. Talk about those two programs and how close they've been over the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, Clay Chalkville had a situation where they ended up missing out on the playoffs for inadvertently using an ineligible player. And that was really a year where a lot of people felt like maybe they were the best team in 6A. Maybe Clay Chalkville, Clay Chalkville was the team that would knock Hoover off, didn't get in the playoffs. I do think that that's a really hungry program. And you're right, staying in 6A could be a real benefit for Clay Chalkville. You mentioned what Hoover's done, and first with Rush Probst and now with Josh Nimblin. I do think that, high school football is a 365-day juggernaut now, and that's because everybody's trying to keep up with Hoover. And I realize Hoover gets a lot of attention, and, now when I go to different parts of the state, people say, there are other teams out there except for Hoover, which is true, but Hoover is definitely the gold standard right now, and everybody else is facing what they're doing.
Class 6A is also one of those that, an Opelika team gets over the hump 2 years ago, make it to a state title game. I said it on the first segment here. I felt like, if not the HSA, but the entire state, to see what type of crowd they brought to the championship game. Maybe that's what knocked this over the hump, because a lot of great high school football communities have struggled to make it to title games, and I think that's been disappointing because it doesn't take anything away from what they've been doing on the field. It's just been the struggle to get over those monsters here in the state.
It is, and the truth is that, you know, when you have a playoff system, you know, in each class, only one team gets to go home feeling really great about themselves at the end of the year. Everybody else ends with a loss. So, you know, that's the great thing about the playoff system, that we get to crown a champ on the field. You know, the downside of it is you have some programs have a great season, and then it's sort of ending on a sour note. You know, Opelika, you mentioned, you know, that this is a team that 2 years ago brought that huge crowd to Jordan-Hare. You know, the Super 7 will be in Jordan-Hare again this year. So, you know, I'm sure Opelika would love to look at that and have basically another home game for the state championship game. You know, 6A will be difficult. But you're right. Opelika is definitely one of those teams in 6A that you really have to look at closely.
5A and 4A, I believe y'all did a story today on AL.com. And by the way, if you're looking for high school coverage, AL.com is the place to go. I'm sure a lot of you out there are already going there. AL Preps is the hashtag that you can go and find all that Josh and them put out throughout the week. But 5A and 4A are also interesting because many teams are either jumping up in class, or many teams like a Dadeville High School here in our local market, they're now one of the top classes in 4A, where they've been found in the middle to the lower tier in that classification. So it changes some of those classes also.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, in 5A, you know, you look around and you see, you know, there's a lot of power in the Mobile area there. Viger stayed in 5A, St. Paul stayed in 5A, Jackson's still in 5A. I think all three of those teams will be really, really good. I think that statewide sometimes we sort of forget about Jackson because they're down there in southwest Alabama, and they're still, you know, 60 or 70 miles from Mobile, and there's just, you know, it's not a big city around them, but Danny Powell does a great job with that group. And, you know, I know they lost their quarterback to Georgia Tech, but I expect them to be really, really good again. You know, 4A is interesting. You mentioned Dadeville, which is a team that's had a lot of success the last few years. You know, they have another very highly rated recruit this year to lead their defense. And then, you know, in 4A, UMS is still there. And Terry Curtis, that private school there in Mobile, has had so much success, you know, over the last dozen years, really. So, you know, all the classes, you know, you mentioned there's some schools that moved up and some stayed, and some of them went from being one of the smaller schools in their class to one of the bigger schools in the class. It is going to be interesting to see how all this shakes out. This is the first time we've been through this system, and so we might see some new schools, some new sort of powerhouses emerge that maybe we haven't seen for the last 5 or 10 years.
We've got Josh Bean on with us from AL.com. Make sure to follow him, hashtag AL Preps, if you follow out there on Twitter, and hopefully Josh will be tuning in with us. We've got our AHSA Radio Network scoreboard, and I want to thank you, Josh, for all the time you took out last year to be on that program with us, and we look forward to having you on this year. As we head into the season, Josh, can you give us some stories that AL.com has grasped on that the rest of the state, or a unique story that you'd like to pass along to the state out there?
Well, you know, we've tried to do some different stuff this preseason that maybe we haven't done in the past, and we sort of tried to brainstorm some ideas. You know, frankly, our other writers, you know, Justin Tells in Birmingham, and Thomas is in Mobile, and Daniel Witz in Huntsville, you know, those guys had some great ideas. And so over the last couple of weeks, you know, we've had some things like, you know, we had a couple of stories where we sort of looked at 5 of the fastest players in Huntsville and 5 of the fastest players in Birmingham, and we looked at, you know, some of the coolest stadiums around the state. Today we had a story about, you know, 5 of the coolest places to see a game in the Wiregrass. And so, you know, part of this is, yes, there are games, and we're going to concentrate on players and teams, but the truth is, high school football in Alabama is an event. There's so much pageantry that goes around it. And we wanted to have some fun in the preseason, too. So, you know, we don't want it all to be so buttoned up and serious. I mean, football's supposed to be fun, and we hope that with some of the coverage that we've had, you know, not just in the preseason, but things that we'll have throughout the full season, we hope that readers find it fun, to be honest with you.
Josh, in closing, give us an idea on Fridays, Thursdays, also on Saturdays some. where can the fans out there go? I know y'all do a great job of keeping up with scores and passing along information up to the time information that's going on. Can give us an idea of where the fans can go and pick that up this year?
Yeah, we'll have a couple of pretty cool new things this year. First of all, last year we unveiled our Friday night live post, which is basically a one-stop shop. As games are happening on Friday night, people can go there and get updates statewide. So we try to give a flavor of what's happening all over the place. Some of our reporters will contribute to that. Sometimes we get information from social media. Sometimes simply fans send us information. So that was really popular, and I thought it really helped us keep up with what was going on around the state. A couple of, last year we unveiled a picture where we let fans choose the player of the week in different locales. Say we had a Huntsville player of the week, or a Birmingham player of the week, or a Mobile player of the week. We let fans choose those, and that was really fun to see fans vote on that. We'll do the same thing this year with the player of the week, and we're also going to do that with the game of the week. So, say fans will actually get a say in some of our coverage. Actually tomorrow we'll unveil those polls for the Mobile, Birmingham, and Huntsville. The fans begin voting for the game of the week for that first week of the season. We think that'll be fun and interactive, and we hope fans will enjoy that too.
Josh, really appreciate it out there. We can't thank AL.com and you for all that you do for high school sports here in this state. Again, AL.com, the best place to go out there and pull that up. Josh Bean, thanks again. Look forward to talking to you soon.
Hey, I always enjoy it. Thanks for having me, guys.
That's Josh Bean with AL.com. And Scott, we like to say that we talk sports, we don't report sports. Those guys do a great job of that, and that's where we get most of our news.
Yeah, and they do a great job of doing it, as you said, and they've done so many cool things the last couple of years to boost their coverage of high school sports. So, as you said, if you're looking for anything high school football related, make sure you check out AL.com.
AL.com or your local newspaper. Before Brett and I go on the road, we've got an outstanding local newspaper here in Alexander City Outlook. Before we go on the road, the first thing we do is pull up a local newspaper and say Eufaula and see exactly what storylines and stats that we're able to find there. Max Preps also does a great job with keeping you up to date there. So we're looking forward to high school football. When we come back, we're going to start talking more about college football. Take your phone calls, 256-234-6464, 1-800-782-0108. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a four-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
When you're on Lake Martin and looking for your own boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alex City and the all-new Alex City Marine South on Highway 63 across from the Mini Mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands, and they back it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine-certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered on both ends of the lake. Know what the locals know. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin's complete sales and service center with 2 locations to serve you.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all you can eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all you can eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
For over 60 years, East Central Alabama has relied on Jackson Refrigeration for installation and service on all brands, including Rheem, Goodman, and York. Now we've expanded into A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, a division of Jackson Refrigeration. We still make your comfort our priority and expect our staff to be the most experienced, dedicated, and trained to give you the highest quality of sales and service. When choosing your heating and air company, choose our family of professionals. The all-new A1 Four Seasons Heating and Air, the all-new division of Jackson Refrigeration.
When it comes to providing the very finest in funeral services, there's one name that stands alone. At Radney's Funeral Home, we take pride in our reputation as one of the leading funeral homes in this part of Alabama. Since 1938, our name has stood for honesty, integrity, and quality. These are the principles that have made Radney's Funeral Home the #1 choice when you want the very finest in funeral service for your family. Radney's Funeral Home, the independent hometown funeral home serving Tallapoosa and surrounding counties.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. I got about 4 minutes on this segment, so we're going to jump into a topic that we very seldom discuss, but unfortunately for NASCAR, it's being discussed all over the country, and this is the Tony Stewart incident this past Saturday night, where a horrific crash as he and Kevin Ward, he hits Kevin Ward on the track, about knocks him off the track, and kills Kevin Ward in a dirt race on Saturday night. First off, Scott, have you seen the footage and your thoughts as you watch it?
Yeah, I was just shocked. I got an alert, and I was maybe floating around on Twitter, and I saw that Tony Stewart had killed somebody, and I said, what happened? So I was assuming, it was just a wreck. And then after actually seeing the video, that's just shocking to see anyway. And for a sport like NASCAR, who the problem that I think NASCAR has with this is that they've promoted themselves as, kind of a macho type sport, and the fighting that takes place and the confrontations between the drivers, kind of like hockey, has been promoted, and so it's okay in that sport to do so. But watching the video, to me, I hate to say this, but it did seem like by revving up the engine or doing so allowed him to hit him. But getting some people who have actually driven those cars and say that the sight visibility is pretty tough in there, and so he did everything he could to move it, so him hitting and revving up the engine was a way for him to avoid him, and anybody who drives those understands that the back end is going to kick out. But it looked like the car in front of Tony Stewart almost hit him as well. But my problem that I had with the entire thing was that how long it took him to decide that he wasn't going to race on Sunday. That was something that immediately should have happened. So, I'm not going to race, and he probably shouldn't race this Sunday either. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But again, I think he's got the support of most of the drivers in NASCAR, but his reputation, as you alluded to, kind of precedes him as somebody who's a hothead. So, again, I don't really know where to stand on this.
I think this is the third incident that he has had on a dirt track in the last year to 2 years. All of them are based around his reputation, as we said, as a hothead. Do I believe he did this on purpose? It's hard to believe anyone would do anything like this on purpose. Hopefully, if one positive thing comes out of this, get off the track. I mean, how many times over the last 5 years have you seen a driver either go back on the track to throw his helmet at somebody's window when they're coming by, or trying to figure out a way that he could punch him through the window? It's nuts to watch, but this is not the first time that we've seen that. So hopefully, if anything positive comes out of it, that will be.
Yeah, I think that's something that needs to be addressed right now. That was the first mistake that happened, and it's because I was saying they have promoted that, because as you said, it happens every week. So when a wreck happens, a driver gets mad and there's a confrontation, and the post interviews that happen after the race, and then he's mad. But I think it's because it was Tony Stewart. Had this been any other driver in NASCAR, I think you'd see more sympathy given to him as a driver. But again, I'm not going to say he intentionally hit him there, but his reputation does precede him as somebody who would do one of those types of things, and especially being on that type of track. And he's had this incident occur twice before where some type of situation happened. But this is something that NASCAR definitely did not need, especially because, and although it wasn't a NASCAR event per se, but it was a NASCAR driver, one of their premier ones.
Bama Blitz will come up next at 8 o'clock, 800-782-0108. Got about 2.5 minutes left on this segment. Rory McIlroy, third consecutive victory on the PGA Tour, picks up his 4th title. He's getting close to being one of the top names, if not the top name in the sport currently. I think he is the top name in the sport currently, but moving also up the history books as he picks up his 4th major.
Yeah, I think he's by far the best golfer in the world right now, and it's evident in his play. I mean, what happened on Sunday was excellent. He was down 3 at one point and made those strokes up, and that fairway shot that he made was one of the best of the entire tournament. But I'm not ready to say that he's surpassed Tiger yet, because there's still a lot of things that he could be doing differently. But from a dominating standpoint, I don't think anybody has ever been as dominant as Tiger was. But the way that Rory's playing right now, I don't see anybody catching up to him anytime soon.
Difficult to watch Ricky Fowler, again, be so close, finish in the top 5 of all 4 majors this year. Couldn't get over the hump. Had so many opportunities, but Sunday coming down the stretch just, to me, couldn't hit one tight when he needed. I don't know if it was playing conservatively. Did miss the putt on 18, but was just not close enough to knock those in. Had a nice 30-foot putt there on, I believe, number 10 that gets him right into the thick of things. I think he takes the lead there with that putt. But Ricky Fowler, he's only 25. I think he'll get over the hump soon. He's one that I'm cheering for out of many. There's a lot of great U.S. golfers currently.
Well, that's the thing, and there was a lot of talk on whether or not that the ratings would suffer because Tiger not making the cut. Didn't happen. I think while golf doesn't, and Rory is their superstar right now, but he's not to Tiger's level yet, I don't think. But when you have those amounts of players and so many different, characters on the golf course at a time, it's going to be good. But speaking of Ricky Fowler, he's one of those guys I think at some point will win one, if it's nothing but just backing his way into one, because he's going to be around the top of the leaderboard every tournament.
Ricky Fowler, Jason Duffner from Auburn, so many young names. Bubba Watson, who won his second Masters.
I think it helps Phil too, though. This is a time without Tiger being there. This was, I thought, a time for Phil to really elevate and have an opportunity to emerge as that top guy that, outside of Tiger. But right now, it's just so tough. And there's a lot of great young golfers coming through right now that I think are about to save the sport.
We'll go ahead and take a break here on Sportz Blitz Live. and When we come back, we'll have our Bama Blitz with Luke Robinson. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
S&S Discount Tire on Cherokee Road in Alex City is the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealership and the place for everything mechanical. Weary and the S&S Tire crew are ready to serve you with double the capacity from routine oil changes to full engine overhauls and all transmission work. S&S Tire can handle it all. That's S&S Tire on Cherokee Road. Call David or Weary today at 256-215-8822. Visit S&S Discount Tire at 224 East South Street in Dadeville, now in 2 locations.
Sperlin Recycling is an Alabama-based recycling company specializing in the recycling of metal, aluminum, copper, ferrous, and non-ferrous waste. Sperlin Recycling is available for all your commercial recycling needs, including demolition, on-site scrap removal, and roll-off services. Sperlin Recycling is a family-owned corporation with several generations of experience. Call us today at 256-234-0903 and visit us online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
At Brown Nursing Home, you'll find quality care and comfortable living. We take great pride in our rehabilitation services, including short-term rehabilitation. We offer speech, occupational, and physical therapy, as well as skilled nursing care. Brown is located on Washington Street in Alexander City. For more information, contact Cecily Lee, the administrator, at 256-329-9061.
Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tires. We head into the Bama Blitz segment of the program. We've got our very own Luke Robinson on with us. Luke, thanks for taking a little time to be with us tonight.
Happy to do it.
Luke, Alabama, as we're heading into the season, I guess the main topic and where we'll start is quarterback play. You and I were on the program this past Saturday. There was a big scrimmage. You thought it would go a long way to determining who the starting quarterback would be. Can you give us a little insight on that?
Well, I don't think either quarterback really showed out, but the weather was a bit of an issue. The only thing that I'm really beginning to gather from fall camp so far is this quarterback race is tighter than everybody thought it would be. And I don't know if that's because Jacob Coker isn't catching on necessarily the way everybody thought he would, or isn't blowing the field away like they thought he would, or if it's because Blake Sims is actually playing better. But I'm going to say right now that my prediction is still that Jake Coker is the starting quarterback for Alabama against West Virginia. I'm just not quite as confident about that as I was before. And having said all that, I don't think it really matters until you get to Game 4 against Florida, who has an incredible defensive backfield, and they're going to be out for blood this year considering their real downturn they had in 2013. And even if Alabama is able to beat Florida pretty handily, then Game 5, which is actually Week 6 of the college season, at Ole Miss, is going to be a tough one. And Alabama better have their quarterback situation straightened out by then.
Luke, one thing that you and all Alabama fans are confident about is the running back core. T.J. Yeldon back has the opportunity to break the all-time rushing mark at Alabama, and he may be the second best running back in that backfield with Derrick Henry back there as well. Can you give us a little insight on the running back position?
Well, yeah, it's funny. He may even be the second. He may be the third best running back. I mean, Kenyon Drake had an incredible scrimmage this past week, and he may be the most talented of the three. It just depends on what kind of running back you like. Now, having said that, pretty amazing stat put out by Saturday Down South. I love this website. They always have some great information out there. But they compared every first-team running back in the SEC to one another that's returning this year. Todd Gurley, who most people consider to be a Heisman frontrunner, they think he's the best Georgia running back since Herschel Walker, all these accolades. He has 387 yards on 387 carries on his career. T.J. Yeldon has 382, so 5 fewer. Gurley has 2,374 yards. Yeldon has 2,343, so only about, 31 fewer yards total. Gurley has 27 touchdowns. T.J. Yeldon has 26. Gurley has 13 100-yard games, and Yeldon has 11. So I think, unbelievably, incredibly, somehow T.J. Yeldon, who will probably end up being Alabama's all-time leading rusher, is completely undervalued, even by Alabama fans, considering these statistics. I mean, you look at his statistics from year one as a freshman, true freshman, to year two, and he had an improvement. I think what people can't get out of their head is the fact that in year one he had an incredible play against Georgia in the SEC championship game to get a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 on a running play that led up to the touchdown to Amari Cooper. Meanwhile, last year he couldn't convert on a 4th and half a yard against Auburn when Alabama really needed it. It wasn't necessarily his fault. He didn't get the block he needed, and it allowed the Auburn defender to come through and tackle him. However, he still didn't get it, and I think that's what sticks out in Alabama fans' minds. Also, T.J. Yeldon gets probably some points deducted in the minds of most college football fans because of his fumbleitis, his perceived fumbleitis. He does have a tendency to fumble at some really bad times. So, you know, it's funny. I think that everybody looks at Derrick Henry's performance in the Sugar Bowl, which was unbelievable. It was great. I mean, he looked like an unstoppable force. But he's only done it one time in meaningful carries. And Kenyon Drake, while he tore it up in scrimmage, the players all seem to love him. They all seem to think he may be the most talented back, maybe one of the most talented players on the team overall. But he can't stay out of the doghouse or in the coach's favor. So it's tough to say right now. T.J. Yeldon, who's been pretty quiet, I mean, for all the hubbub about his commitment switch way back when, T.J. Yeldon isn't one of those guys who talks a lot of trash. I mean, he got one 15-yard penalty against Texas A&M last year for the throat slash gesture, and he should have gotten it. But that's the only time I've ever seen him have an outburst of any kind just about.
Well, Luke, staying on the offensive side of the ball, you have a new offensive coordinator here in Lane Kiffin, and from all things that from an Auburn perspective, there are a lot of people who are hoping that it implodes, but I'm somebody who thinks from a quarterback standpoint he's going to do great things with whoever it may be, Jacob Coker or Blake Sims, but I think this may be the year finally that O.J. Howard gets more involved in the offense. Can you talk a little bit about what you're hearing about Lane Kiffin as well as O.J. Howard?
Well, you say the year he finally gets involved, you got to remember it's only his second year. I think that he will be involved. I mean, I remember 2 specific touchdowns O.J. Howard had last year, but I don't think he was involved enough. That being said, when you've got Amari Cooper and you've got T.J. Yeldon and you've got Kenyon Drake and you've got some other wide receivers, Christian Jones, I mean, it's hard to argue that you don't target O.J. Howard first. I do believe he will be targeted more, no doubt. And Lane Kiffin's known to get the ball to the tight end. And I think that Lane Kiffin's going to be okay. I mean, look, everybody is waiting for this implosion. He's a pretty good offensive coordinator. I mean, he keeps getting pretty good jobs. I don't know necessarily how he's done it this whole time, but he does always get pretty good jobs. And I think he's going to be okay. I mean, as long as he keeps his head down and does exactly what Saban asked, I think he'll be fine. But I do think O.J. Howard will get a lot more chances to show what he can do this year.
2 more questions for you, Luke, as we close out the Bama Blitz. Luke Robinson on the phone with us out there, our Bama expert, and it's on the defensive side of the ball. First, let's start in the secondary. Which freshmen end up on the field year 1?
Well, I'm going to say for sure Tony Brown. I'm going to go ahead and say Marlon Humphrey ends up there too. I mean, you don't recruit guys with these kind of physical abilities and not play them, because here's the problem. You redshirt them, and then they develop even more quickly than you thought. Then you only have them for 2 years. So it's better to let them go out there and play a few plays this year and get their feet wet in SEC play. And even if it's just in a return game in Humphrey's case, and allow them to come back a little battle-tested for next year than it is to redshirt them, in my opinion. I think these guys, I've seen them both, and they are physically ready to compete in the SEC. And we've seen Humphrey has the speed and the cover skills to compete in the SEC, so I think both those guys will definitely be out there.
Loaded stable of linebackers. Which ones are moving to the forefront? We know we got Trey DePriest, but who else is going to end up on the field?
Well, everybody's so excited about Reuben Foster, and I don't blame him. Reuben Foster can knock people's teeth out. I mean, he's heat-seeking missiles. The problem is he doesn't always make contact, and so that can be an issue. However, I think the one guy that a lot of people are going to be surprised to see play early and often is Sean Deion Hamilton. It's a guy that we have certainly seen as part of the AHSA radio network. I remember at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, he seemed to be in on a lot of plays. He's a little bit bigger than I think people want to give him credit for. He's definitely fast enough. He's got the instincts. I think this is a guy that could be first-team in the Alabama defense by the time all things are said and done.
Luke, thanks so much for being on the phone with us, buddy. Look forward to having you back on with us in the upcoming weeks. We know you'll be on the road with Champions Challenge calling the Friday night game, and that's a big one next week.
Oh, it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it.
Thanks. That's Luke Robinson here with the Bama Blitz, and he brings some good insight, as Scott and I, obviously, two Auburn fans, to get some Alabama talk out there. You can call in, ask us any questions. We'll pass it along, try to look for the answers for you. Got about 45 minutes left here on the program. 256-234-6464 or 800-782-0108. More Sports Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
What is LMG? It's a team of professionals with the tools to create a successful marketing plan to help your business grow. LMG has successful designs that get results for the individual and the business. We provide signs of all types, screen printing and embroidery, promotional products, web design, audio and video production, and much more. LMG has 3 locations to serve you in Alex City, Dadeville, and the Auburn-Opelika area. Call us at 888-533-6758.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization, wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat, full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma, all with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
The summer clearance event is in full swing at Bice Motors in Alex City.
Don't roll the dice, buy it at Bice.
We're just a short drive away from Invoice every day. I bought it, Bice.
Lowest price!
Nice price. Take our advice. Buy it at Bice. I told you twice, don't roll the dice.
I bought it at Bice.
They're really nice.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Stop in or visit BiceChryslerDodge.com for the best prices of the year.
When you're on Lake Martin and looking for your own boat, it pays to know what the locals know. Alex City Marine in Alex City and the all-new Alex City Marine South on Highway 63 across from the Mini Mall is Lake Martin's premier Landau pontoon boat dealer and the area's authorized Suzuki, Honda, and Mercury outboard dealer. Alex City Marine has the industry's best brands, and they back it up with the industry's best boat repair with marine-certified specialists that get it done right. Whether summerization or a full overhaul, Alex City Marine has you covered on both ends of the lake. Know what the locals know. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin's complete sales and service center with 2 locations to serve you.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Sperlin Recycling. For all your commercial recycling or demolition needs, call them today at 256-234-0903 or visit them online at www.sperlinrecycling.com.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. I'm Randy Lee alongside Scott Hardy tonight. 800-782-0108, 256-234-6464. We had Josh Bean on in the first hour, talked high school sports with us. Make sure to tune into him, hashtag ALPreps, AL.com, great place to go there. I must preface this segment in saying that these are conversations that Scott and I have on a daily basis, if not an hourly basis, especially when we're working together. And I just got to bring it. I saw a tweet yesterday that brought up a stat that I think you and I have talked about a lot. There has not been a white defensive back in the NFL in a decade. In 10 years, there has not been one. Can you somehow explain this one to me?
Well, we've kind of had these conversations similar to what happens in basketball and blacks in baseball. A lot of it has to do with perception. And I think for the most part, I don't think it's the athletes choosing to where he's going to play, but I think he's going where he can be the most successful. But I don't think a coach in his mind, stereotypically speaking, is going to put a white at cornerback. Not to say that they're not as athletic, not to say they don't possess the same skill set, but perception outweighs reality a lot of times, and I think that's what has happened for the most part in that position in particular.
I think you're dead on. I think that there is, when you look and you say 10 years, we have not had any, and that has to go down to the lower ranks. And now when I go out and I watch a high school game on Friday night, and I'll just be honest, and by the way, Scott's the least racist person I know. Hopefully he feels the same about me. We got that out of the way. Okay. Are you not shocked when you see a white guy in the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and because you talked about it, and I'd actually forgotten, but we played teams such as Briarwood, or you look at some teams that we've played, Spanish Fort, who's had white guys in the secondary, and you are a little surprised by it, and when you see them actually play, you're a little more, I think, even more shocked. I know when I was in high school, Luke Chapman, who he didn't continue to play, but I think from a skill set wise, he was probably one of the most athletic people in our school, and although he didn't finish playing defensive back, he was capable of doing so. You also played it your entire career here at Benjamin Russell, so definitely the skill set is there, but it definitely does start, I think, even before you get to like middle school maybe. I think in your mind, you're just not used to seeing that. So when you translate it over to the high school stages where the pickings kind of slim there, you're going to try to put your fastest and most athletic guys there. But I think there needs to be something done with it, because that's the same thing that could have been said 25, 30 years ago about the black quarterback. So, they weren't capable of doing it. They weren't smart enough. And so you look at it at the reverse side. If you're going to ask for parity in one position, you need it for both.
That's the only thing that I've said. I said that it is good that now that we have Auburn University. And out of the last 10 to 15 years, how many black quarterbacks has Auburn had? I don't even know, and I don't even think about it that way and could care less. And this is NFL that comes out with a story on Twitter yesterday, and it says there have been 0 whites back in the secondary or at the cornerback position in the NFL in the last 10 years. It took me back a little bit, and it really does. It's almost role reversal here, because perception has created what we have seen. And running back positions, another position that very seldom do you see that. I can't think of any other on the team, though, that you have like that anymore. I know that this is an odd topic, but I just saw that. It's back to what you and I talk a lot about.
Yeah, and it's good conversation, and it's good talk. But, again, you look at it at the receiver position, you're starting to see whites get more involved, especially not necessarily in the slot anymore. Your Wes Welkers and your Deckers, they're not necessarily the players you see anymore. Jordan Nelson playing out on the outside, Riley Cooper playing on the outside, Dan Amendola, they're playing for New England. So you're starting to see, I think, a different type of athlete, because now you've had guys like a Steve Young or Doug Flutie that were pretty good, but Johnny Manziel is one of the most gifted players in the league, I think. And so you're starting to see it transition where the crossover for the skill set of all the positions are available in any race. But it is weird when you bring it up, like we've joked about it, but 10 years is a long time for somebody not to be at a position, and it's mainly having to do with your high school rankings, I think, because if you're not being recruited to play at the college level, then you're definitely not going to be able to play it in the pros.
And I've said it on the baseball side, and it's one of the things that truly bothers me as bad as anything is the decline of black baseball players. And anytime you go and you look, and I know RBI is out there, and that initiative is strong. I think Torrey Hunter is out in front of that, trying to push. Jimmy Rollins also very active with that. Scott, apologize out there if you're hearing the storm that we have above us. But I think that initiative is so very needed when you're watching baseball. But I think it's not only in that sport. There's a lot of other sports that I like to see diversity, and I don't want to see it change to where when you look at one sport you say, okay, that race of people they do not play that sport. To me, that's bothersome.
Yeah, and that's the only thing. And so it's kind of comical on the outside, but if you really dive into it, that's a cultural problem as a whole. That's a whole other conversation to have. But yeah, and that's what's happening. And two, though, I think part of it, though, is if you're maybe a parent or so, and like that's not a position you probably are saying, you can grow up to be a good corner. There's nothing for them to look at, but you don't see it either as somebody they could look up to. Really, you said that's 10 years ago, so somebody that's in high school now, they don't remember seeing a Jason Sehorn, so they don't have anybody really to compare that skill set to, and I think that's why you see it now with more black quarterbacks starting to happen. You bring up with Alabama, I think because of the success of quarterbacks in the NFL that were of color, you see it now. So outside of Peyton Manning and Brady and Breeze, your better quarterbacks include people of color. And so I think that has changed where the league was before. And so hopefully something can be done there. But we had a lot of conversation about it. But there are definitely players that are playing on the offensive side of the ball or maybe playing linebacker that could definitely slide out and play corner because they're fast enough and possess that skill set.
256-234-6464, 800-782-0108. Hopefully you saw this, Scott. I'm sure you did. I know you're a big golf fan. PGA Tour will hold a new tournament, the Barbasol Championship, at the Grand National Course in Opelika next July, the first year of a 4-year run. The event is expected to have an economic impact of about $25 million, Governor Robert Bentley said at a news conference at the state capitol. This is outstanding news. I think that Shoal Creek also has an event. Is it a senior event that is scheduled? Maybe I'll pull that up. But Shoal Creek has an event coming in. But this is outstanding for the local area that we sit in. I can never remember an event being within 30 minutes to 45 minutes from our hometown here on Lake Martin. And for it to be in Opelika is great news for that area.
This is one of the better things that has been released, I guess, sports-wise for this area in a very long time. There have been different LPGA events and senior tour events that have happened throughout the state. Mobile has carried some, but to have that here, the economic impact for that is just going to be so great, and to have Lee County will get the majority of that. But again, you're looking at a purse of $3.5 million. So this will be a big tournament, I think, and I'm looking forward to see it. And this is with the Robert Trent Jones golf course, one of the greatest in the country. When you have that, you're going to get good golf, and that's a great job for the state of Alabama to get that here.
First PGA tournament in Alabama since the PGA Championship was held at Shoal Creek all the way back in 1990. So quite a long time ago that we have seen that. Grand National is part, as you said, the Alabama's Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Beautiful course, been able to go over there a few times, and hope that you can get out there, play that course as they get set to host this event this upcoming year. Going to go ahead and take another break here on Sports Blitz Live. When we come back, we'll have Andy Graham on the phone with us. He'll give us the Auburn Blitz segment. Hopefully you're able to tune him in as the host 4 days a week on Sports Call Auburn, 93.9 over in the Auburn-Opelika market. More of the Sports Blitz Live presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
Bradbury Medical Equipment serves the Lake Martin area's needs with durable medical equipment and respiratory care. Bradbury Medical Equipment is home-owned and operated, providing skilled, qualified, and professional people to set up and deliver all of their equipment. Bradbury Medical Equipment provides 24-hour service and will file all insurance claims, making claims trouble-free. Located on Airport Drive in Alexander City, Bradbury Medical Equipment, a history of neighborly care. Call them today at 256-215-8654.
JR's Catering is your premier choice for catering for any occasion in the Lake Martin area. Their quality food service can cater any event from banquets, family celebrations, charity events, political gatherings, as well as corporate catering. For delicious food of any kind and great service, call on JR's Catering today at 256-329-2328.
Hello, I'm Russell Building Supply.
And
Now, I'm the big box store.
Box, I don't mean to cut you short, but I've got a delivery to make.
A delivery?
Yeah, Russell delivers anywhere in the local area for free, usually on the same day, and that's on top of our low price guarantee.
Really? Free? Are you kidding me?
No, and if you prefer to pick the order up yourself, we'll load it for free.
And on the same day?
Yeah, we're really good at working on short lead times. How about you?
Yeah, I'm short.
Serving Lake Martin and Central Alabama.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
In this moment, you want a team that stands behind you so you can perform your best. At Auto Owners Insurance, it's how we do business every day. Because along with our independent agents, no one works harder to keep you in the game. Auto Owners Insurance.
Call Dark Insurance today, 256-234-5026.
Lila's Engraving, celebrating 20 years of business in Alexander City, is proud to supply the Lake Martin area with all of its trophies, plaques, name tags, and any other engraving needs. Lila's also specializes in custom framing of any size picture or portrait. Lila's Engraving has been and continues to be a proud sponsor of Lake Martin area athletics. So go by and see or call Lila's Engraving at 256-234-6004.
Sportz Blitz, brought to you by Dane Sharp, attorney at law, helping injured people get the full benefit of their case. Call Dane today at 256-825-4631.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. We're in the Auburn Blitz segment of the program that's brought to you each and every week by E. Dane Sharp, attorney at law. And by the way, we'll have Dane on the phone with us in the upcoming segment to talk about a number of topics. Justin and I have been talking a lot. So much going on in the legal field with legal jargon that's going on in sports news, and we'll catch up with Dane to talk about some of that. But we've got our good friend Andy Graham on the phone with us now. Thanks, Andy, for taking a little time.
My pleasure to be here.
Andy's Sports Call this afternoon, 93.9 is where you can tune that in. SportsCallAuburn.com is the website. You're the host now 4 days a week. What was the hot topic for Auburn Talk this afternoon?
Auburn Talk this afternoon revolved a lot around the practice that we had today and the newcomers that were trying to emerge or are the ones that are going to be redshirted. That evaluation period is really coming to a close right now. I mean, Auburn is here 18 days away from playing a football game on Saturday, August 30th against Arkansas. So preparation is certainly going to begin solely on the game plan for Arkansas and preparing for that game in the next few days. I think you've seen a lot of names emerge, and I think they've got enough film on guys to know who can really help them this season and who's going to have to sit out and play scout team redshirt this year. You guys have already mentioned Rock Thomas. He has certainly made a big impression. He figures to be a guy in the mix this year. I don't see him redshirt, and I don't see, unless an injury occurs, which, God forbid something like that happens. Auburn has had enough of that already. But it'll be interesting to see who comes out of this freshman class and is really able to make a big impact. Gus Malzahn certainly has raved about Stanton Truitt, a guy that we haven't heard his name a lot in practice, but Gus Malzahn feels like he has the ability to be a big impact player.
Andy, we've talked a lot about Auburn football so far on the program, so I'm going to shift gears a little bit during the Auburn Blitz segment here. Neat news coming out on Auburn baseball. They'll renew a series with Georgia Tech, and I think that's a great thing.
Absolutely. It's a series that has got a lot of history to it. Auburn has played that series over 100 times. They actually lead the series 59-42-1. They're going to travel to Atlanta on March 24th, and then, of course, the Yellow Jackets will make a trip back to Auburn on April 29th. So about a little more than a month apart between those two games. But, Georgia Tech's always had a quality baseball program. This has been a good rivalry. It's close. Atlanta and Auburn are, an hour and a half away, so it's not a bad trip. When you've got two quality programs like this in this close vicinity, it's a great out-of-conference game. It'll prepare you for the upcoming season, which is always a gauntlet in the SEC, and it prepares you for postseason because they're usually a team that you're likely to see if you do make that postseason, which Auburn has not done for a little while. So Sonny Galloway said that when he took the job, it was a little late in the process to try to add something like this. They wanted to go ahead and make this announcement, and he's proud to say that Georgia Tech is back on the schedule, and he says to look for a few more out-of-conference matchups like this to look forward to.
Well, and crossing it over to the basketball side, Bruce Pearl, the restrictions are off of him finally now, and his show calls are done, and he can go out and recruit and be the coach that I think that all Auburn fans know he's capable of being. And scheduling-wise, I think that you'll see the same type of thing happen that we just added with Georgia Tech. We'll see different types of teams on the schedule that we had before. I know that there's talk of possibly a midnight game as well. So what do you think year one is we're starting to approach, because basketball season is right around the corner as well? What are you expecting year one out of Bruce Pearl?
Well, I know it's going to be a different-looking team. I expect it to play a lot differently. The wins and losses, it's kind of difficult to say because there's so many new faces on this team, and so many guys that have so much promise. It's rare that you come into an Auburn basketball season when you've got so many newcomers that were so highly touted. Simeon Bowers, the Mason kid that was just a tremendous scorer. You add in what Auburn already had in the KT Harrell, and I don't think scoring points is going to be a problem for Auburn University this year. Now, playing defense, that still remains to be seen. Can he get that out of them? Auburn is going to go all the way to Boulder, Colorado to play a game at midnight. They're going to Las Vegas and play in a tournament. There are already quality games on this year's schedule. I can only imagine in the years to come what this program is going to be capable of. I expect the out-of-conference schedule every single year to be packed with quality opponents. You'll see Auburn playing in tournaments. I wouldn't be surprised to see Auburn playing in a Maui Invitational at some point in the near future. I think the possibilities are just they kind of make your mouth start to water. I think we all love Auburn first and foremost, but I've always loved basketball, and to have Auburn finally with some real possibilities now of taking a step forward, and Bruce Pearl has been everything that was advertised and more. And like you said, when he's really he's been playing with handcuffs on up to this point. When the handcuffs come off, when they really turn him loose, I'm very, very excited for the future of Auburn basketball.
Andy, thanks for taking a little time to be on the program with us this afternoon. I'll be on with you on Sports Call tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 6, 93.9 over in the Auburn market. We look forward to doing that, and then you'll close out the remainder of the week also. So still a busy schedule for us this week.
Absolutely, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I've enjoyed every minute of it and look forward to doing it for the foreseeable future. Hopefully, we can keep sports call up to the level that it was has the reputation in its history, and maybe even take it to places that it has even maybe never been.
Thank you, Andy, and that's Andy Graham. He's the host of Sports Call Auburn. SportsCallAuburn.com is where you can find that. And he's been doing our Auburn Blitz segment and writing articles here in the local market for the last 5 or 6 years at least, so Andy does a tremendous job. Going to go ahead and take another break here on Sports Blitz Live. When we come back, we'll have our good friend Dane Sharp on the phone with us, and hopefully he can give a little insight on a number of different things, whether it be the Ed O'Bannon NCAA trial, the Power 5 autonomy, how does this change amateurism here in college athletics, Tony Stewart's wreck, what will move on from here, to what do we expect to see come out of that. A lot of different topics that we want to hit on Dane with. More Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
Ever wondered what LMG can do for you? The possibilities are endless.
LMG offers custom apparel and promotional products, any type of signage and vehicle wraps, web design and internet marketing, video production, paper products, and more. Visit us online at www.leemarketing.net. With 3 locations to best serve you: Madison Street in Alexander City, Highway 280 in Dadeville, and Frederick Road in Auburn.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
CTE Small Engines has served East Alabama's lawn and power equipment needs with quality products from Echo, Husqvarna, and Kawasaki. But now, CTE has expanded to serve the entire state with full lines of Titan UTVs. CTE Small Engines is Alabama's exclusive Titan dealer with full lines of the Scoot, Sniper, Explorer, and Recon series, featuring hybrid electric and gas combo with up to an 1100cc power package. See Alabama's exclusive Titan dealer, CTE Small Engines in Opelika next to Tigertown off I-85. Or shop our full inventory at ctesmallengines.com.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due, it's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band, she needs a trombone. Good golly molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm, he needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So because it's always something, remember Always Money. How much can we loan you today?
At the Medicine Shop, we're dedicated to the idea that quality pharmacy care means more than just prompt prescriptions. When you come to the Medicine Shop Pharmacy, you'll be able to count on dependable care from a knowledgeable pharmacist. The Medicine Shop is the only compounding pharmacy in the area, and we offer the shingles vaccine year-round. Bring your prescriptions by the drive-thru on Airport Drive in Alex City, or input them online at www.medicineshop.com, or call them at 256-215-8014. The Medicine Shop, caring beyond prescriptions.
JR Sports Bar and Grill. Mondays, all-you-can-eat fingers, $13.25. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, all-you-can-eat wings, $12.25. Every day, kids in uniforms eat for $1.99. Alabama Street in Alexander City and Highway 280 in Sylacauga.
Welcome back into Sports Blitz Live, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and S&S Discount Tire. We got a good friend of ours, not only on the program, but here in the local community in the Lake Martin area. Dane Sharp, attorney at law over in Dadeville. Dane, thanks for taking a little time to be on the program with us.
Well, thank you for having me, Randy.
Dane, we've been talking, and Justin and I off air have said how many different legal issues can there be to go on at one time in this country? And we'll start with one right now, but it is a unique time to be in the legal profession, to watch what's going on in sports. And one to me that is right at the top of the list is the Ed O'Bannon trial. Can you give us a little insight on that?
Oh, sure. You're absolutely right about that, Randy. Of course, Ed O'Bannon was a former UCLA basketball player, and the lawsuit was brought in his name, and the federal judge ruled on it finally just here recently. She issued about a 99-page legal decision in which she rejected the NCAA's claims that this is, all about amateurism in college sports, and basically opened the door for players to get paid. She ruled that universities, can put money aside in a trust fund to be paid to athletes after their playing days are over. Of course, the NCAA is going to appeal it. Now, the reality of this is, of course, that the imbalance in college sports will be greater. The rich will get richer. In other words, how can your teams that are not financially raking in millions and millions of dollars a year, how will they be able to compete with your big schools, big time schools? I don't know. A lot of this remains to be seen how it all will play out. But one thing's for sure, you can look at it two different ways. Either the NCAA, either this ruling is going to continue to blur the line between professionalism and amateurism, and you're going to have people arguing, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. What do you do it? Then on the other hand, you're going to have the argument that they finally pulled the curtain back on the pretense of collegiate amateurism, which is a good thing. It's not just about getting an education anymore. It's about money.
It is, and this past week, Dane, I was really intrigued with how the vote would come out with the NCAA on this Power 5 autonomy. Mike Slive made it very clear that if the SEC and the other four conferences didn't get the vote the way that they wanted it, that they would look to form their own division and Division 4. I'm interested from your perspective on the legal side. How do you see this change in amateurism as a term, and also if you can move that into Title IX ramifications, how do you see that playing out?
Well, yeah. Well, what it does, it creates more questions. It's probably going to create more lawsuits. For example, going back to the judge's ruling in the Ed O'Bannon case, her decision dealt only with athletes in revenue-generating sports, football and men's basketball, which are, of course, they're the high-stakes, multi-million-dollar businesses. Well, what happens to the non-revenue-producing athletes, that could be earning millions of dollars as well? I believe by reading that decision, they're left out of it. And what about like you said, the Title IX? I mean, that, like I said, that's going to create even more lawsuits and more questions. And the only ones that are probably going to make out in the end are the lawyers.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, Dane. That was my next question. Can you give us some insight on how these lawsuits play out? To me, a lot of times when you go, at least from the layman's term, sitting here in our shoes, whoever's got the most money to go out and fight it, and I may jump into this LA Clippers battle also, but the NBA's got all the money that they need to go and fight for that, and finally Sterling just passes along and says that, look, that's enough, maybe let's go ahead and make this sale final. But give us a little insight on how the court proceedings work there.
Okay, well, for example, going back to the Ed O'Bannon case, it's going to be appealed. I mean, the NCAA has already said it's going to be appealed. That could take 2 years, and I don't think anything will happen in the way of any player getting paid until the appeal has run its course. One thing about it, though, the rich are going to get richer. And, the ones who have the money to fight it and fight it to the end, are generally going to win out, and that you hit the nail right on the head. So it's just going to, it's going to have to be played out in the courts, and you have to wait and see. I mean, this thing could potentially go all the way to the Supreme Court, being such a huge issue.
We got our good friend Dane Sharp, attorney at law over in Dadeville, a good friend of ours here in the Lake Martin region, on the phone with us. And Dane, as the Donald Sterling NBA proceedings were playing out, what were some of your thoughts during all that?
Oh my! Of course, that's been a couple of months ago, and I'm trying to remember back what all we were thinking about back then. But I don't know.
The biggest question, Dane, was you take a tape recorder into the house. You don't let him know that they're going to be taping his conversation, which was with his mistress at the time. It's against the law in California to do that, and he loses his team out of all that. All of this bothers me as well.
Yeah, I wasn't going to start off with that, but yeah, that's initially the problem I had. That really bothers me. I mean, he gets taped surreptitiously. He doesn't know it. He's in his own house, and he made some comments he obviously shouldn't have said, but he got reported, and then the next thing you know, it's all over the world. That really bothers me, even though he had no business making the comments he made. But still, if you can't say something in the privacy of your own home, I mean, that's pretty tough.
Well, Dane, there are reports coming out that the NBA they're going to countersue Donald Sterling for, I guess, basically damaging the league, and from a public relations standpoint, he definitely did that. Where do you think the league stands, I guess, in their appeal to try to make sure that they get some type of justice for what happened to their league?
Scott, I'm going to tell you the truth. I am not real familiar with that, to be quite honest with you. That story with me kind of lost steam about a month ago, and I'm just not. I have to apologize. I'm not real sure where that stands right now. I'm not up on it.
Dane, we got about a minute left here on this segment. Tony Stewart's wreck on Saturday night was horrific. How does this play out in the court system?
Well, the sheriff up there in that county issued a statement today that they're not conducting a criminal investigation. They're just looking into the crash, but no charges have been brought, and they're not looking at bringing charges right now. The way y'all were talking about this earlier, the way to stop this kind of nonsense is to try to prevent these people from getting out of these cars. Tony Stewart, he's got a long history. I mean, everybody remembers a few years ago, he got outside of his car and throws his helmet. I think it was at Matt Kenseth. And, then him and Jeff Gordon had a running feud. But, you gotta try to stop these people from getting out of their cars on these tracks. But, then again, how do you do that when, a car catches on fire? And, they got to be able to get out of the car. But, I don't know. It's not an easy answer there.
Well, Dane, we really appreciate you taking a little time, giving a little insight here. And it's a unique time to be a sports fan. I think a lot of news will be coming out in the coming months on this NCAA autonomy and paying of players. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But look forward to seeing you around town soon.
Sure thing. See you later.
Thank you. And that's Dane Sharp, attorney at law over in Dadeville. We had some great insight there. And, again, it's interesting, as you and I, we're not on the legal side and we don't understand all of it, to hear somebody like him pass it along. Going to go ahead and take a break. It'll be our last break here on Sportz Blitz Live. When we come back, Scott and I will close out the program. More Sportz Blitz Live presented by JR's and S&S Discount Tire right after this.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive in Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed, it's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Have you heard about Walls Tire and Auto? Walls Tire and Auto is a full-service garage with over 40 years combined experience in the shop. Let the professional, experienced staff at Walls Tire and Auto provide you with any service your car needs. You already know they handle tires of all sizes and brands, but did you know if your car breaks down, the friendly staff of Walls Tire and Auto will pick you up, make the repairs, and deliver your car back to you? Stop by and see them today. They're right off Highway 280, about a mile past Lake Hill Bridge, or call at 256-825-2628.
Hey, Jerry. Nice yard. I bet this dead wood really hits home for you. The only thing getting trimmed around here are property values.
Does it ever feel like your yard work is taunting you?
Where you going? The nail salon's the other way.
Take back your yard with professional-grade equipment from Echo. Reliable, easy to use, and backed by a 5-year warranty. Echo. Get serious.
Get your SRN 225 trimmer at Satterfield's, Highway 280, Alexander City.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions, so call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
Final segment of the show. Thanks everybody out there for tuning in to Sports Blitz Live tonight. We've had some great guests. Had Josh Bean in the first hour, Luke Robinson to call in with the Bama Blitz, Andy Graham with Auburn Blitz, and then Dane Sharp, our good friend, attorney at law, to close out the program. It's football season. It's here, Andy. I'm moving over to Andy. I'm thinking about Sports Call, but Scott, it's right here amongst us, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait. And again, it'll kick off next week with high school football, and from that point on, as I said, at the kick of the show, we'll have football until February, and so you can't beat that.
Make sure to go and find us, sportsblitzlive.com. That's sports with a Z. We got a Twitter. We got a Facebook account out there. Dwayne Riddle won our first Auburn, Alabama t-shirt giveaway, so thanks for all of you out there for commenting or liking on Facebook and then Twitter. Got about 30 seconds left here. Scott, thanks for coming out. We'll be on the road tomorrow at AHSAA, getting ready. Media Days in Montgomery Champions Challenge. For Scott Hardy, I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning in to Sports Blitz Live.
Auburn Urgent Care, located on South College in Auburn and on Enterprise Drive at Opelika near Tigertown, offers convenient solutions to your health care and occupational medicine needs. We offer workman's compensation injury care, and we have a certified DOT medical examiner on staff. It's not about speed, it's about the quality of care. We're open 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends in Auburn, and 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday in Opelika. Walk-ins are welcome. Auburn Urgent Care. 334-821-3221 in Auburn or 334-749-9191 in Opelika. Visit us online at auburnurgentcare.com. Proud of our past, confident in our future. And for your primary health care needs, visit Family Health Clinic at 1456 Opelika Road in Auburn. 334-826-8951. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
It's always something. Your car needs a new tire, tuition is due. It's down to the wire. Cheerleading outfits, soccer shoes, football pads, or annual dues. Nellie's in band. She needs a trombone. Good golly Molly, you need a loan. Jimmy broke his arm. He needs a cast. You need money, and you need it fast. When life comes at you, Always Money can help you through. It's easy, convenient, friendly, and fast. You'll get the cash you need the day you need it. So because it's always something, remember Always Money. How much can we loan you today?
Hello? Yeah, man, I just picked some up. Wait a second. I think I see some cheaper ice. Hold on one moment. What's going on here?
Man, just get my ice at Twice Ice like I always do.
Well, look what I paid almost $3 for.
Man, you can get a 16-pound bag of ice or fill up your cooler with 20 pounds for $1.50. This is the only place to come.
Just pull up to one of our convenient locations in Alex City, Dadeville, Sylacauga, or Childersburg and fill up your cooler. Lowest price, convenience. That's what you get with Twice the Ice.
Tallapoosa Ford on Highway 280 in Alex City has delivered new Fords for 35 years. Need fuel efficiency with style? See the best selection of 13 Ford Fusions delivering 38 MPG in a new stylish package. Check out the Hybrid C Max crossover now on the lot, offering roomy comfort with an amazing 47 MPG, rating highway and city.
Hello, this is Jeff Smith with Tallapoosa Ford. I'd like to welcome you to our dealership and experience our low-pressure sales. With non-commissioned salespeople, our sales force is here to serve you.
Visit Tallapoosa Ford, Highway 280, Alex City. If we don't have it, we'll get it, guaranteed.